DzPeepz? This is your girl D coming at you with this sweet, piping hot tea. So sit on down and enjoy the show because Just D show is raw and uncensored.
She's leveled up, I thank God. Straight from the mud, now it's time to get the pie. Sweat, here's some blood, you can see it in my eye.
What's up, DzPeepz? This is your girl D coming at you with this sweet, piping hot tea. So sit on down and enjoy the show because Just D show is raw and uncensored.
She's leveled up, I thank God. Straight from the mud, now it's time to get the pie. Sweat, here's some blood, you can see it in my eye.
All right, y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hold on, let me reposition myself because I'm realizing this is not very comfortable. Give me a second. Wow. This laying on the side is not easy. Okay. All right. So will y'all let me know if you can hear me okay? I don't want to talk too loud because it is late, but I want to make sure you guys can hear me clearly. With the background music, if you can hear me okay, put a 1 in the chat. If the volume's too low, put a 2, and just let me know how it sounds on your end. Me and the scarf's about to have issues. Okay, see, I had this perfectly set up, and now because I done moved, everything's all discombobulated. Thank everybody for your patience. Good to see you, my good brother Cody in the building. Thank you so much. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to the fam bam in the building. I've been keeping Haley in my prayers. I was praying for her earlier today, so I hope she is doing well. And good to see you. Good to see you, my love. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank everybody who is in the chat. I really wish YouTube would not have changed the screen names. I do believe this is Gemini Ant. Good to see you. So, yeah, it's very annoying, bruh. Right. It's like I have to guess who's who because YouTube, I don't know, they did some weird update and now it's like hard to know who's actually who. But shout out to all the DzPeepz in the building. Good to see y'all. Thank you so much, Cody. Y'all make sure to hit the like. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like on your way in. And thank you to everybody that has left comments. Shout out to Andrew. Definitely appreciate your energy and your feedback, your consistent feedback in the comments. Not only in the lives, but even on the shorts, you know, the videos that I've edited. I do appreciate that. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, good Lord, excuse me. Now, y'all make sure to, hold on, let me share screen. There we go. For those who have not, don't forget to follow and subscribe to me on rumble.com. Like I said, I plan on doing the Pizzagate live hopefully tomorrow. I gotta kind of see how things go. But if everything goes well, we will be doing the Pizzagate documentary part 2 on rumble.com, exclusively on Rumble. So you're going to, need to make sure that you are actually on rumble.com, because I will stop the live stream to YouTube, because the Pizzagate documentaries are completely uncensored, and Rumble is an uncensored platform. YouTube is not. So make sure that you guys get over to Rumble and subscribe and follow me there. That way you can participate in the chat and join in when we do the Pizzagate live. And y'all make sure again to hit the like on your way in. And shout out to those that have been signing and sharing the petition. Thank you again, everybody, for your support. For those who have not, you guys share the petition, because I really want to get to the first 1,000 signatures. And if you want to know how to share the petition, you can scan the QR code, send it to people. You can copy the link. You can send it via email, X, Facebook, WhatsApp, and whatever Nextdoor is. I've never heard of that platform. And you can just literally share the link, like anywhere, Instagram, TikTok, wherever. So y'all just make sure to share the link. And for those that are new to my channel, again, thank you and welcome to D's World. Make sure that you do lock in with me. Make sure that you do subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bell. That way you get notified every time I go live or upload. Good to see you, Neptune, in the building. Good to see you, Fam Bam, in the building. Okay, you guys said one is okay. All right. There's my other good brother. Got the 3 good brothers in the building tonight. Thank you, Andrew. Good to see you. Good to see you, family. Thank you so much. He said, I know it's you. Hold on. Trying to scroll through these comments. I know it's you. Andrew said, I'm the real Andrew. I know. I know. Good deal. It's good to see you in the chat. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. So yeah, definitely. I know some people said that. I'm not sure why, but Rumble, it shouldn't be hard. You just go to rumble.com, create an account. And then once you create the account, you'll follow me on there. And the link's in the chat. Plus, it's just, just D show. So, gotcha. So yeah, y'all make sure to like, share, and subscribe if it's your first time tuning in. I also want to acknowledge the people that recently subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much. Shout out to the new DzPeepz, the new family members that have recently subscribed to the channel. Thank you and welcome to D's World. I definitely do appreciate all of your support. So as you can see, we're back for part 2 of Epstein is Alive, allegedly, and Jay-Z and Beyoncé and Diddy are named in the Epstein Files. Now, before I continue, all commentary on my channel is alleged outside of my real life experiences and for the purposes of entertainment and education and investigative research. Y'all, I did some digging today, and when I tell you, it just is amazing the way my natural obsessive Scorpio nature is. Scorpios, we are obsessive by nature, and I tend to use my obsessive nature to research and dig and get the deets and get the information. And the things that I am finding out are just like, wow. It's wow. Not to mention the information that I'm also finding out about the orange face Oompa Loompa in the White House, your president, Donald Trump. It is quite disturbing, but also liberating, because everything that I've been talking about for years is finally being displayed in such a way that people can no longer call it conspiracy theory. See, it's a theory when you can't prove it, but when there's evidence, it's no longer a theory, it's fact. So there's a lot There is a lot. And I also came across, I'm so glad I looked in my files. I came across the video clip that I just like screen recorded and did a quick video edit on, from when Jaguar talked about Diddy trading that $500 million sex tape, allegedly, that I guess had minors or whatever. And the comparison about that, and then when she said when Angie Stone died that they needed their pound of flesh. More and more, there are things coming to light in these Epstein files that's actually confirming that. Like literally confirming them allegedly doing cannibalism, all types of just super disgusting things beyond just the satanic sexual rituals. It is quite amazing to see the reality and the manifestation of the things that I've been saying for decades, that people kept saying weren't true, conspiracy theory, and now all of it is coming out in these Epstein files. So before I continue, I do want to go ahead and start off with a prayer. Again, because I want to get back to that with the lives. Even though I'm doing investigative research, at my core, I am a spiritualist. And I am a high vibrational high priestess. I don't do the dark magic or any of that. But I do believe in reversing energy back. And I do know that I have dominion over demons. So with that being said, Most High, I just want to thank you right now for everyone that's tuned into this live and for everyone that will catch the replay. I thank you for the gifts that you have given me spiritually and naturally. And I thank you for the healing of every victim who is still being trafficked. I thank you for the healing of every child and adult who has suffered abuse that is going to hear this live and receive healing. And I thank you for the excavation crew that I am putting together for Forever Freedom to actually go underground and find these missing children, find these places where they're being trafficked, and rescue them. I thank you for their healing in advance. And I thank you for the healing of everybody on this panel who have all been at one time victims of sexual abuse, who are now survivors and now advocates. Thank you for the family that you have brought together here on my channel. And thank you for the healing that continues to go forth. Thank you for everyone who has come to me for spiritual advice or spiritual healing. I ask that any energy rising up against me, this channel, the collective family, let it fall by the wayside immediately and self-destruct, to never ever rise again. And let chaos and confusion come about their lives, and let death and hell follow their own evil intentions back to them. Any evil eye, any curse, incantation, negative energy, evil intention, bad intention, even gossip, let that be returned to sender immediately. It shall not come near or nigh me, my dwelling place, or anybody connected to me, anyone that I love, family, friends, and it shall not come near or nigh anybody on this channel. In the name of the Most High God, Asheo. The most important thing is healing. Yes, discovery, investigation, expose it, but also I want everyone to remember that the goal for my channel is healing, exposure, and heal. So that is the sole purpose. Like I told you guys before in the last live, me being a survivor of sexual abuse as a child and an adult, I take all of this very personal and very serious. And I'm very much about helping people to heal. Give me 1 second. Because I just drank all that water and now the acid reflux. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know how it works on every mobile device, but you should definitely be able to sign up, whether it's online or on your mobile browser or the app. Andrew, if you see smart stuff like hating all these children abuse, that's me. Okay. I didn't either. I didn't vote for that orange face Oompa Loompa either. President grabbing by the pussy. Auntie has been telling all this for a long time. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, because I'm saying, like, I've been talking about this for so long, and I can remember on my original Facebook page, the one that I ironically can't get back into because the Microsoft Authenticator app deleted on my phone. But I've been talking about this on Facebook for a long time. In fact, I've been talking about this before 2011, now that I think about it, because my first Facebook page I started in 2009. Matter of fact, at the end of 2009, because I had my thyroid cancer surgery in March of 2010. And right after, I would say a few months after that, I started doing more research and exposing the New World Order agenda, the one world currency. I discovered Veritech, just all these different, the HR 6566 clause and the Obamacare Act, the mass fatalities preparedness, the preparedness for mass fatalities and religious act with the human-sized cadavers, the FEMA camps, like, it's so much that goes into all this, and it's so much that I've been researching for so long. And I can remember people that they believed and they understood, but a lot of people were like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, oh, this is a conspiracy, oh, this isn't real. And to see it actually manifesting in real time, that's the amazing part. Not the actual abuse, but the manifestation that I knew that what I was shown was coming into fruition, and now it is. So thank you, Andrew. Yes, thank you. And I'm going to continue to do the prayers. He said, if you help me prove to my therapist that Hillary and Bill are a part of the BS and are satanic, I will split the $1,000 she said she would give me if I can show her vetted proof they are corrupt. Well, I definitely will be showing that. And thank you for that. I received that. Exactly. We're definitely stronger with the Most High behind us. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, because we all need the prayer. All of us need it. And you guys, most importantly, let's remember that 12 million children, and that was as of last year, those were the statistics, that 12 million children get trafficked. And it's horrifying. It's truly horrifying to hear that, and for me to have premonitions about it. It actually really super breaks my heart. It really does, because children are innocent and they don't deserve to be a part of some disgusting elite bullshit for them trying to appease some fucking, deity and all that bullshit. Give me 1 second. The first thing I did see, I saw this on Instagram, and y'all know when I see things everywhere, I go and verify. So I saw this post on Instagram that said Epstein made young girls do a catwalk. So of course I looked it up in research to verify. Now, trigger warning for those who are new to this channel. The topic is explicit, and some of the content that I'm going to share with you guys tonight, some of these Epstein files do have images and footage. While it's blocked out, you still can tell what was going on. So, just keep that in mind as well. Can you let me know? I'm not sure who you are. I'm assuming you're one of the DzPeepz that's been on the channel for a while. But since YouTube did this update where it doesn't show people's YouTube name anymore, I'm not sure who's who. And if you're like one of my regular DzPeepz and I just don't recognize your name, I want to make sure I'm addressing you correctly. But thank you for tuning in again. I do appreciate it. Exactly. We heal together as a family because we are a family here on this channel. Yeah, for sure. I have a question. Proverbs, a curse causeless cannot land. Other translations said a curse causeless cannot come. Hold on. Proverbs 26. I can tell you this, a curse cannot work unless you're in a low frequency. I do know that. And that's why I reverse people's energy back when they think they're sending curses or negative energy to me. Let's see. Like snow and summer or rain. And y'all, I do have the window propped open. So, I mean, if you hear outside noise in the background, like snow and summer or rain and harvest, honor is not fitting for the fool. Like a fluttering sparrow or a darting swallow, an undeserved curse does not come to rest. So that's exactly what I mean. Somebody tries to send you a curse that just because they're evil, it literally cannot harm you. Curses only work on people in a low frequency. Literally. Like, you have to be in a low frequency for a person to send a curse and it actually affects you. That's why the spiritual attacks that people have sent me, as y'all can see, they don't work because my frequency is too high. So yeah, that's kind of my translation of that. Is an undeserved curse means just that. If you know you didn't do anything to deserve a curse and someone tries to send it to you, it can't touch you. Not at all. Hikerman. And yeah, so I mean, I just answer that because it's in the chat, but definitely if you would like more detailed information, or if you feel that you are being spiritually attacked and you want spiritual protection or guidance, definitely book a consultation with me. And I can help you one-on-one offline. And by the way, I want to just take a moment to acknowledge those who have booked spiritual consultations with me. Thank you for those who have booked and have been taking your healing seriously. I really do appreciate watching you guys heal and grow and break these generational curses and open up. So shout out to the DzPeepz that have booked with me. And thank you so much, Cody. I do appreciate that, for sure. Appreciate your support, family. We are learning to see that the Most High is an energy. That's where I totally agree with D. Exactly. I keep telling people, like, again, you know, we've been conditioned throughout generations to reference God as a male figure, and, you know, he and Father God and all of that. And all of that, briefly, let me show you guys this. This whole ideology that God is a man. Here we go. And, you know, Father God and him and he and all of that. It all stems from Satanism, to be honest with you. There we go. The Church of Satan and the origin of a male god comes from that. Now, some would argue and say Satanists don't believe in a male deity. Well, that's, matter of fact, let me show you the actual prayer. That's where the Father, praying to the Father, came from. I think it's this one. Yeah, this looks familiar. Cause I did a live on this a few months ago. So yeah, this is their prayer to Lucifer, by the way. It says, "You who have been so slandered, execrated, and wronged through the centuries, just as Satan himself noticed the hymn, sharing with him the undue guilt for all the sins of humanity, and blamed even for the errors and failures of the Christian God himself." Okay? They refer to Lucifer as a magnificent bearer of the light of Satan. Enlightenment. This is when people take frequency in a very dark and wrong direction. And as it pertains to Christianity, see, like, I grew up in apostolic Pentecostal churches where they teach that, you know, God is a man and Christ sits on the right hand throne and all this other stuff. The reality is, I died in 2008, went to heaven in my apartment. I literally died while I was smoking a blunt, ironically. But it wasn't the blunt that made me die. It was my heart giving into darkness for the first time, and me literally giving up on God. Because my grandfather had just died from leukemia, and my doctors had started doing the biopsies on my thyroid, and they were already telling me that they believed I probably had thyroid cancer. It wasn't confirmed until January. But when I gave into darkness and I died and I went to heaven and I experienced God as energy, I was like, so pretty much everything they told us on the earth about religion is bullshit. Like, it's literally bullshit. It's made up by these Freemasons. Religion was created to control the masses, the minds of the masses. It was never, ever created to celebrate the Most High God's frequency. Never. So, what I wanted to show you, because this actually is relevant even to the subject tonight. Constantine, Roman Emperor. I really delved into this even more when the Da Vinci Code came out. Yeah, Constantine the Great is the one that actually created Christianity. During the reign of Roman Emperor Constantine the Great, 306 to 337 after the death of Christ, Christianity began to transition to the dominant religion of the Roman Empire. Okay? Romans are pagans who worship pagan gods, including Baphomet and Moloch. And Moloch is the god of child sacrifice. Okay? But Constantine is the one who essentially formed Christianity. So Constantine, a Roman emperor. Something else you guys should know about Rome is that pedophilia was widely accepted in Rome, which is why these pedophiles, these elite pedophiles, are so used to doing this shit. It was widely accepted in Rome and in Greece rather. Yeah, pedestry, which is actually The original definition of homosexuality is pedestry. You know, the cookie pop-ups are getting real old with these fucking websites. Can you please get off my screen? I really don't care. Beat it. Yeah, pedophilia in ancient Greek and Rome culture. It was widely practiced in Greece, and in Rome. So again, you wonder why there's all these stories about the Roman Catholic churches and the popes that molest the altar boys. And yeah, this was normal. And this same person is the one who started Christianity. He's a Freemason. I'm getting ready to show you that. Because this whole thing about God being a man and Lucifer and Christianity, it's all tied together. It's all one and the same. Constantine the Great, Roman Emperor, is the actual creator of Christianity, and he didn't even believe in Christ. He worshipped pagan gods. Not to mention, King James himself was a Freemason. I believe he was part of the York Rite Masonic order. Yeah, there we go. Right there. Constantine the Great, Freemason. It says the Emperor Constantine was also known as Constantine the Great, Saint Constantine, but his full name in Latin was Flavius Valerius Aurelius Constantinus Augustus. Constantine would serve as a Roman emperor from 306 AD until his death in 337 AD. He was born into an unstable and divided empire. I want to get to the part where it shows him as a Freemason, because this is a lot of information. Okay, it says as a knight companion of the Red Cross. Pause. Did you guys know that the Red Cross, the origin of the Red Cross is Freemasonry? Did you guys know that the Knights Templar were the guardian knights that were set to guard the bloodline of Christ, and they were infiltrated by the Illuminati, and then they defected? It says he was the first emperor to convert to Christianity. Actually, he created that to combine church and state for political reasons. Yeah, Order of the Red Cross of Constantine. I bet you guys didn't know that. And the Red Cross is everywhere. And this is a Masonic emblem here for the Freemasons. Constantine and the Christian knighthood, the Masonic and military order, the Masonic and military order of the Red Cross of Constantine is an independent body of Freemasonry distinguished by its explicitly Christian character. So, you know, when motherfuckers be like, you don't believe in religion and Christianity? Well, I was raised to be a Christian. I was raised in apostolic Pentecostal churches where they teach Christianity. None of them knew this shit. I challenged my stepfather, my former stepfather, with this information when I discovered it when I was 16. It blew his mind. He said, how did you find this? I was like, I've been researching it since I was 11. I've been knowing this for a long time. Now I'm able to show other people. Back in the day, I had to print off, you know, back in the 90s, you didn't have no shit like this. You had to print off paper and show people. Yeah, I printed it off and showed my former stepdad, who was our pastor. I said, did you know that Freemasons started Christianity and Freemasons pledged to Lucifer during their initiation? Pledged to Lucifer, their magnificent bearer of light. So when you hear people talk about the bearer of light, oh, the bright and morning star, sweet Jesus. Remember that song? Sweet Jesus, sweet Jesus. He's the lily of the valley, bright and morning star. Yeah, that's Lucifer. Interesting, the mind fuckery of religion. Created to control the minds of the people. And also created to desensitize pedophilia. Who would have thunk it? That a Roman emperor that created Christianity also, comes from a nation where pedophilia was just normal. And then you wonder why the Roman Catholic popes and priests, the going joke about them, molesting little boys, and it, like, rape is not a joke. It should never be funny, but it's a way to desensitize it. So yeah, the Red Cross is a Freemasonic order, Masonic and military. Let me correct myself. So, just saying, sheds a lot of light on the bullshit. Okay. You're welcome, love. You are welcome. Andrew said, God is not a man from what I saw in my time. Exactly. Exactly, Andrew. God is energy. Eternal energy of everlasting love. It is not a man. It's not a woman. It's no gender. It's no humanity. It's just energy. Exactly. I love how you worded that. Exactly. It's a frequency that supersedes race or gender because it has no humanity. Yep. I know what you mean, Andrew. And that's the thing. The first time I experienced when the angels took me to the actual throne, and the throne is not even a human definition of a throne. It's more of an altar without a floor. And it's just this huge, huge force field of energy. Force field really even downplays it. Oh yeah. Yeah, they always do. Purple Flower, good to see you, my love. Good to see you in the building. It's been a while. I know y'all normally, some of y'all be trying to catch me during the day, but I'll be so busy during the day. I might do an afternoon live later today. Good to see you, love. Good to see you. He said, see, I want to say this. I grew up in Roman Catholic Church and the abused kids, and I grew up in the 1970s, so I saw a lot. Some was done to me as a kid, as a male, and I'm speaking healing over you for that. And it's a shame because, like I said, I was molested by the female foster cousin, but she actually did molest me physically at my uncle's church several times. And then as I grew up and started talking to more people in these churches, found out that they were being molested by parents, other adults, other kids. Like, this commonality of molestation and sexual abuse in the church is crazy. And you know what, Andrew? You're not the first male I've heard say that they've been molested by nuns. That's actually quite disgusting. I'm very sorry that happened to you. Right. And that's why it's like I said, one day, Andrew, when you are ready, I would love to have you come on the panel and share your story with us. Just, so they can actually hear it from the mouth of a male, what it was like to go through that. Started first. Oh yeah, either that or she was a part of the dark shit. Yep. Is it frozen for anybody else? Because I'm using a different browser tonight. I realized that the previous browser I was using was causing a lot of freezing. So if anybody else, if it's showing me as frozen, will you guys put that in the chat? Hopefully it's not. But I don't think he knew any of that. Oh, trust me, I didn't even know that growing up. I discovered that when I started researching this. When I started researching about the Church of Satan, like I had to find this stuff out again, especially me being a high vibrational high priestess that I've, participated in exorcisms and casting out demons. I had to know the difference between Satan and Lucifer, but they're technically one and the same. And so I started researching like the Church of Satan, Luciferianism, how it all ties into Freemasonry and religion, and yeah, it's pretty deep. But what I was looking for, it was an actual prayer. It was a satanic prayer. Here it goes, Our Father. There it is. I knew it was on here. This is where the concept of God as a male came from. It originated in the Church of Satan. Notice how it says satanic, Our Father. Notice how the prayer is very similar to the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Why does this one say, Our Father who art in hell, hallowed be? Like, it's the same damn prayer. Let's do a side by side. Because I really need people. This is why they sent me back here from heaven. They said, you have to go back and show them the truth. You have to shake it up, wake them up, and show them the truth of how they have been tricked, deceived for the sole purpose of controlling people's minds. That's all it's about. So all these Freemasons did in these churches was take the satanic prayer and make it Christian. But again, Christianity was founded by a Freemason. So you have to think about that, like the mind fuck of that. They have a church whose practices have foundations in Satanism. Let's do the side by side. This is the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven. Fuck your pop-ups. God damn, this is annoying. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses. Like, I remember this as a kid. I remember memorizing this as a kid in church. So when I came across this a few years ago, I said, get the fuck out of here. So this is where the Lord's Prayer came from. Satanic Our Father prayer. Isn't that some shit? And all the Christians are the main ones that judge gay people. Meanwhile, your founding fathers are all fucking pedophiles. Allegedly. I'll say allegedly for the sake of YouTube. But I know that they are. So, you know, before Christians start judging other people, you may want to research the foundation of the very religion that you hold on to so dearly, because you're going to find that all of your religions have foundations in Freemasonry and Satanism and Luciferianism. It's a mind fuck. That rabbit hole goes so fucking deep. It really truly goes so fucking deep. It's disgusting, quite honestly. And then we have this incest and sexual exploitation in the Roman Empire. Again, Roman Empire, Constantine, Freemasonry, Christianity. Yeah. Okay, you're not creating an account to do that. It says the Roman Empire, renowned for its grandeur and decadence, harbored dark practices that cast long shadows over its society. Among these were incest and sexual exploitation, pervasive yet seldom discussed openly. Early Christian apologists, however, boldly confronted these issues, shedding light on the moral decay and offering an ethical counter-narrative rooted in Christian teachings. Why in the fuck is pedestry and sexual exploitation and incest have roots in Christian teachings? Well, if, you know, the founder of Christianity was a Roman emperor who was a pagan who allegedly practiced pedestry as a Roman emperor, it would make sense why this is so widespread in churches and religions, why it happened to me, why it happened to several of us in these churches, is because that's what they do behind closed doors. Yeah. Pedestry. What you call homosexuality is pedestry. And pedestry, for those who may not know, let me educate you. Pedestry. Same-sex relationships between an adult man and an adolescent boy. Has nothing to do with consenting adults of the same sex. This is specific to sexual abuse or statutory rape. Homosexuality in ancient Greece. One more again, pedestry in ancient Greece. Socially acknowledged romantic relationships between an adult male and a younger male, usually in his teens. So again, you know, y'all Christians want to be judging the gay community, and you're not even using homosexuality in the correct context. Homosexuality has everything to do with pedophilia, nothing to do with two consenting adults of the same sex. So yeah, before you judge, I'm gonna need you to do the same research that I do so that you can fully understand where the foundation of your religious beliefs come from. You might stop following that religious belief if you do your own research. Like, for real. It could have been on your end. I'm not sure. Thank you. Said, I've been following on here for a minute, but I'm not getting notifications. Is there a way to fix it? You know, YouTube does that. They tend to try to shadow ban my channel because of what I expose. So I'm not sure of your name, but I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for dropping down in the chat. It says it's freezing. Well, then that's just, fuck. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna refresh. I'm gonna pop out of the studio, refresh, and come right back. Hold on. Because, yeah, it could be the browser, but I do think it's StreamYard. Or, that's not what I meant to do. I do think it's StreamYard. Because, well, but then I probably could have updated my browser. Because I was using StreamYard earlier today for a consultation. So you guys let me know if it continues to freeze, because I may just have to keep refreshing. Oh, absolutely. And the only way Satan can control your mind is if you give that deity the authority to do so. Exactly. A demon can only come if you invite them, or if you're in such a low frequency that they're able to possess you. Movies like The Conjuring and Exorcism are nothing compared to real life, like actually doing an exorcism in real life, which I've done multiple successfully. What I found out is that a lot of these people who were being possessed by demons, they were all victims of sexual abuse, every one of them. even in the church. And because of that, they were in such a low frequency. On the movie Conjuring, the first one, when they were, Ed and Lorraine Warren were teaching that class, they said the activities that lead up to demonic possession is oppression, oppressive thoughts, depression, which puts you in a low frequency of oppression, leads to possession. So a demon can possess you without you inviting it by you simply remaining in a low frequency. Those are the only two ways. Or it can possess you during sexual abuse. When my ex-fiance was raping me, he was possessed by a demon. No bullshit. Like, his eyes rolled in the back of his head and everything. I saw the demon's face. I had to cast a demon out of him while he was raping me. The worst experience I've ever had in my life. That demon was literally trying to enter my soul. It was trying to knock my soul out of my body and enter my body while he was raping me. This is also why I study all of this stuff. This is also why I'm such a powerful spiritualist. Because I have looked demons in the face and overcame them every time. That's also why he didn't remember. He was like, I blacked out. He's like, I have some like remnants of what happened, but I don't remember all of it. And when he started remembering parts of it, he broke down because he couldn't believe he had done that to me. Because again, we were engaged to be married. I've known him since I was 4 years old. We grew up together. I never ever would have thought he would do something like that. But he was literally under demonic possession, which caused him to rape me. And he was in a low frequency before that happened. He started drinking every day. He started back smoking cigarettes. He was super depressed. He was super in the dark. There was nothing I could do to get him to come out of that darkness, because he was dealing with the finding out if the paternity of the daughter that his ex claimed was his was really his. He like plummeted into this low place. But what I didn't know was that he had been molested by his biological sister, who was raped by their biological father. So yeah, this pedestry, this ancestral shit definitely can lead to demonic possession, for sure. And I always say all the time that rape is a demon, because it is. The act of rape is very demonic. This is why they do this shit. Let me bring up the satanic ritual calendar. This is why they do this shit. When they sacrifice souls to Satan during the satanic revels, their disgusting celebration and shit, they do it through rape. They activate that demon, they let that demon possess them, and then that demon gives them the physical strength to rape people. Yeah, the satanic ritual calendar. I want to show you guys an example, because Candlemas just passed. It was on February 2nd. Notice how it says Sabbatic Festival. That's Baphomet. Blood ritual, animal and or human sacrifice. They are sacrificing humans, typically babies and children and minors. Satanic revels, sexual ritual. That's a rape. Oral, anal, vaginal. That's them raping people. That's how they sacrifice. All this shit has a foundation in Satanism. But Satan comes in a lot of ways, judging people, hurting people. No, that's more the spirit of ego. That's more the Luciferian. The thinking you're better, that's that ego state of Lucifer. But Satan does come in multiple ways, but Satan can only come in if you let him in. If it's easier. Okay. Thank you, love. Thank you. Yeah, I may have just needed to refresh the browser. Plus, I do have multiple tabs open, so I probably need to close a couple of the tabs here. Oh, I know, Andrew. I know. Said I've had an exorcism, probably spelled it wrong. And on me to get the gay demon. Yeah, that's because people are ignorant back in the day. And that's definitely not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like actual, when I was a member of Christ Apostolic Temple, the church my mom's a current member at. While I was a member there is when I was raped by my ex-fiance. Prior to him raping me, I was on what they call their SWAT team, their spiritual warfare attack team, because of my gifts, my spiritual gifts. And Bishop Jeremiah Reed was the pastor I was under. And he recruited me. He said, we need you for your spiritual gifts to assist, be a part of the SWAT team. We have reports of demonic possession by multiple members. They're seeing things in their homes, even what they called the other building, which was our office building. There was demonic activity going on there. And I kept wondering, how could demonic activity be going on the church property? Well, that was because I was not aware that people were being sexually abused at that church. Like what happened to me as a kid happened to me as a kid, not, like at the church as an adult. When my ex-fiance raped me, it was at our apartment. So I wasn't aware that there were people that were being sexually abused physically at Christ Apostolic Temple. I didn't find that out until after I left that fucking cult. But I was called upon to travel. Matter of fact, Cody, the church you said you visited in Hannibal, Robert Andrews Church, we had to travel to Hannibal from Des Moines a lot because there was, I witnessed it. We saw shit flying around by itself in the church, and I'm a seer. I'm a clairvoyant. So I would see the spirits, I would see the demons all in the church, and we would pray them out. We'd come together, pray, exorcise the people that were being possessed, the children that were being possessed, objects that were being, had spirits attached to them. And we'd come together and clear it out. And we'd perform the exorcisms, and it would work. But then they would come back. And I was like, why do they keep coming back? Well, what we found out was that Robin Andrews and her daughter were sexually abusing the members, specifically children. And there were children there that were being raped and molested by parents, siblings, and church members, and it was being swept under the rug. See, my passion against Diddy, Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein, Trump, Epstein, all these sick fucks. Because I've seen this shit in the goddamn church, the one place it shouldn't exist. I've seen it up close and personal. I've seen people talk about it on the phone behind closed doors, but no one wants to publicly call people out and hold people accountable. And then when you do become the whistleblower, everybody turns against you. Because the churches that I grew up in are communities. The cults are communities. So they will literally excommunicate you from that society. Like literally, they will stand you up in front of the entire congregation and kick you out of the church and have the guards escort you out. And your family and friends are not allowed to speak to you. They're not allowed to communicate with you. This shit is real, bro. And it goes on in these disgusting ass churches, especially the ones I grew up in. And when I would ask these questions about it, I remember my mom being like, stop being rebellious. Why are you so rebellious? I just want to know the truth. That's why I'm such an investigative researcher. Because I knew my parents weren't going to listen to me. I knew that nobody was going to believe me. You know how many kids are raped and molested and trafficked that feel that same way? That no one's going to believe them? This is why forever freedom is so important. See, a lot of people are just talking about it. I'm actually doing something about it. And I am manifesting and speaking into existence that I am attracting all of the funding needed to get the buildings built, to get the crews put together, and it will be a compensation, like it'll be compensated. We are going to go find these kids. We're gonna go underground. We're gonna create our own underground railroad, and we're gonna fucking rescue these kids. They don't deserve this shit. They don't. They don't deserve to be abducted, which that's what's coming up next. The spring equinox. Another Sabbatic Goat Festival. Notice how it says Major Fertility Sabbat. That means people having sex with these demons and creating evil demigods, half human, half demon, or in the angelic world, half human, half angel. And what we have to always remember is that Lucifer is a fallen angel. So are all the other angels that were kicked out of heaven with him, which means they know how to shapeshift and deceive people. Abduction, ceremonial preparation and holding of sacrificial victim, all of these missing children, the kids on the milk cartons, all of the Amber Alerts, especially here in Texas. The abductions are for these satanic rituals, so that they can commit pedestry. See, again, consensual sex, whether it's vaginal, oral, or anal, is one thing. Sodomy is forced anal rape. It's very demonic. And this is the shit that Diddy, Epstein, Jay-Z, Clive Davis, Harvey Weinstein, and many others are being accused of. He said, I saw this church on TV where this old man married this young woman Are you talking about Dwight? Let me show you who I'm talking about, Andrew, and tell me if this is who you're speaking of. Because Dwight Reed is the son of the pastor I'm talking about. See, my mom, she wasn't a member there when all that was happening to me. In fact, the irony is she didn't even like the church. Because even like the apostolic Pentecostal churches are very, they're very political. And there's organizations within that religion. And because Bishop Reed's organization was different from the one I grew up in, the churches rivaled. And when I told my mother what happened to me, she said, well, that was a long time ago. Like, she totally just swept it under the rug like everybody else, and basically told me to not talk about it. She's like, I just don't think you should talk about it, you know, because it makes the church look bad. Just like how Barbara Walters scolded Corey Feldman for exposing the pedophiles in the industry. The victims are always encouraged to shut the fuck up because, you know, it's damaging to their image. It'll make the church look bad. Well, maybe church members and pastors and preachers and ministers and evangelists shouldn't be fucking the people in the goddamn church. Maybe they shouldn't be allowing rape and molestation to go on. Maybe they should not be molesting and raping members. How about that? How about we hold these motherfuckers accountable instead of sweeping the goddamn shit under the fucking rug? I have no empathy for predators that die. My former stepdad found out he was a pedophile after I left home. He went to jail for statutory rape. Come to find out, my Uncle Melvin that died, his brother, he had raped him when they were little boys. I didn't even know that. He was my stepdad for what, 13 years? I didn't know that. So I grew up in a house with a rapist pedophile who was a pastor. We had a whole church in Hastings. And I asked Mom, did you know this about him? Did you know he was like this and married him anyway and like had me and my sister around him? When I left home and I reconnected with those kids of the deacon, and they told me how their stepdad had been molesting them and making child pornography. Like our head deacon, y'all, who at church was so sweet. That shit broke my fucking heart. These kids were like my little brothers and sisters, bro. If I would have known that shit, I would have had all of them arrested. I was like, Mom, did you know that Deacon so-and-so was molesting his stepchildren and making kiddie porn and selling it? And then coming to church and having the Holy Ghost and shouting and doing all this bullshit? Did you know that my former stepdad fucked their mom in front of them? While the stepdad recorded it? It was some Diddy shit, bro, in the fucking church. Then they wonder why them kids grew up and was on drugs and ran away from home and was acting out. I didn't know any of that shit when I was home. I was like, Mom, don't you feel like somewhat responsible for this? Well, you know, they never told me. I said, but I'm telling you now. I apologized to them because I didn't know. I said, if I would have known, y'all, I would have had your stepdad arrested. I don't give no fucks. He's going to jail, period. His ass is going to fucking jail. This shit is disgusting. It's so goddamn disgusting how much it goes on in goddamn churches and how much people act like it's okay. So Andrew, this is way back when I first started my lives. Yeah, because it ended up on the Ricky Smiley morning show. And I sent a DM to DeBrat and Ricky Smiley to tell them I was a former member of that church. Dwight Reed, hold up. Damn, I might have to close some of these tabs because this is starting to get on my nerves. Okay. Dwight Reed. Wait, okay. This is Dwight Reed, Jeremiah Reed's son. This is my mom's current pastor. That's Jordan. I was friends with Jordan's mom when I was a member there. I was there when her mother was pregnant with her. I remember when Jordan was born. I went to the baby shower. I got her gifts and everything. Jordan's father was very physically abusive to her mother, Gloria, and they divorced. During the divorce, he preyed on this girl. She was a member at the Christ Apostolic Temple Christian Academy that we started when his ass was out in the streets, high off of his ass and not off weed. When his ass was coming to church, swinging on his father in the middle of service, and the security guards had to pull guns on him and call the police and have him escorted out. This same motherfucker, who also has been accused of raping and molesting, 3 of his stepdaughters? Because this is his 4th wife, by the way. He's a scammer. He scammed every one of his ex-wives. He beat the fuck out of all of them and then molested and raped their daughters. Now, I'm going to say allegedly because I have to, but according to their public testimonies that they shared, they gave an account, just like how she sit on his lap. His second wife's daughter went on Clubhouse and gave very explicit detail about how he molested her, how he would sit her on his lap. And she was like, and he would be aroused and he would make me touch his penis. And he asked me, the girl said she was 11. She started crying, telling the story. She said, I was 11 years old and he asked me if I knew what sex was. And he raped and molested that girl. He married Jordan as soon as she turned 18. Ricky Smiley had the details wrong. She was 18. She had just turned 18 the week before they got married. They got married on a Monday because my mom went to the it wasn't a wedding, it was just a basic marriage at the church. She went to it. Dwight got permission from Jordan's father, James Goodlett, who I sang in the choir with. James was a musician. I remember because all the girls went crazy over him because he had hazel eyes. I kept telling them, I said, something's wrong with that nigga. Like, I felt it. It's like something about him ain't right. Gloria got with him. He beat the dog shit out of Gloria while she was pregnant with Jordan. And I tried to get Gloria help, and she was going through battered woman syndrome, and she kept going back to him until she couldn't go back anymore. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe he broke her jaw. That same man was on our TV broadcast network that we started, bragging about how his daughter's going to marry a bishop, and he bragged about how he gave Dwight Reed permission to date her at 15. He gave a 60-year-old man permission to date his daughter at 15. And the only reason they got married is because Des Moines is not very big. People kept seeing them out in public and everybody was talking about it, how inappropriate it was. Because again, she was a student at the church. By the way, they made all the members take their kids out of public school and they forced them to enroll, he did, into the Christian Academy. When I was a member there, it wasn't mandatory. You could still have your kids go to school, but it was an option if you wanted them to attend the Christ Apostolic Christian Academy. This man is a known accused pedophile and rapist. He had churches in Louisiana, he had churches in Missouri, and I believe he even had a church in Iowa. And every one of his churches got shut down for money laundering and scams. And because of the rape accusations. They have a son now. And now he promotes teenage girls getting with older men for security. This is grooming. This is disgusting. This is unacceptable. This nasty motherfucker made sure to wait until both his parents died to pull this shit. This is why my mom tells me, like right now, she would be pissed if she knew I was talking about this, but I'm a grown ass woman and I'm gonna speak my truth. I don't give a damn who doesn't like it. I was like, Mom, I'm your daughter and I told you I was raped there. How can you support this? Well, she's grown. Who am I to judge? She's grown. And I love my mom to life, but my oldest sister told her that she had been raped by her biological father and my mom didn't believe her. Certain things about my family disgust me. Why do you guys sweep all of this shit under the fucking rug? Are you guys pedophiles too? Is that why you accept this bullshit? Ever since I've been exposing him, this cult has been sending me spiritual attacks. I know people thought it was just Jaguar and them. Nah, baby. They been doing that shit because they fucking hate that I'm putting this shit on blast. Because I was a member there and I know all of what they did. I know all of what they did. I'm the only one that went to the police to try to get those kids help. I was attacked then. Oh my God, they made everybody turn on me. People would come to my job and not speak to me. They would come to my job and threaten me. Church members. How dare you leave the church and then you're out here telling the police what's going on in the church? You know you're not supposed to do that. Excuse me. Young children came to me and told me when we went to Hannibal to pray them demons out them fucking churches that they were being molested and raped. It is my duty to report it. Nobody else on the so-called SWAT team wanted to go to the police because they were so afraid of Bishop Jeremiah Reed and the repercussions if they were to, as they said, snitch. It's not snitching when it comes to sexual abuse. Now, this is the live. This is actually how I got to YouTube. Her, Kim, let me see your transcripts. I had never heard of her. Maurice, who's in the thumbnail, this is Maurice, Levita, and me. All three of us have been raped and or molested at Christ Apostolic Temple by members. Maurice called me and was like, sis, there's this lady on YouTube, because again, this was before I started my channel, like before I even was going live or anything. He was like, she wants to interview us, because he told me she was researching about Dwight. He was like, she researches about corruption in churches, and she's interviewed, what was that fucking guy's name? The one Dwight was going back and forth with. He's here in Houston. He has a advocacy. But regardless, he's like, she's interviewed them. She wants to interview us. I'm like, Maurice, I don't really want random people exploiting our experiences for YouTube so that they can get paid. I was like, is this a paid interview? He was like, no, it's not paid, but it'll help us to get our story out, to bring awareness so that it can help other people wake up. And this was right around the time when Dwight married Jordan. And we were all like, because again, I was a member, I've been a member at Christ Apostolic since I was 19. So, and Maurice was a little boy. Like, his grandmother and I were very close. She was like a mom figure to me. That's how, like, me and him were like family. I see him like a little brother. And when he came out to me and told me he was gay and he married his boyfriend, he was terrified. He was like, you know, everybody back home is gonna shun me. I was like, man, fuck them people. They shun me too, fuck them. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do the interview. Let's put it out there. Because again, everybody else talks about it on the phone, but nobody wants to say shit public. So we knew we were putting our lives literally on the risk doing this interview. That's why the bullshit her fat, stupid ass did pissed me the fuck off. The shit with Jaguar and all that drama. Because when we did this interview, I didn't know shit about her and Jaguar having beef. Jaguar was not on my radar at all. Other than me seeing her on Storm Monroe's channel. Looking back, I see the bullshit Kim did. Because Kim came outside of YouTube like a friend, like, D, I'm here for you. I'm here for Maurice. You know, whatever y'all need, support. You know, she's like, I'm connected to programs and advocacy. She really came across like a friend, and like she cared about all three of our stories, only to find out that she was not only getting monetized from this, she was getting funding from, what was that fucking guy's name? I gotta look it up now. Bishop something, whatever the guy's, Bishop Senegal, that's his name. And he has a nonprofit organization here in Houston. Come to find out, she was getting compensated from him. So I told Maurice, I said, we're not going back on her channel. I said, you can, I'm not. Because I researched her and her connection to Bishop Senegal and found out, yeah, he was funding her. Because he has some beef with Dwight personally. And allegedly they said that, you know, Bishop Senegal likes women, trannies or whatever, and him and Dwight were going back and forth. He was saying Dwight was down low, which I wouldn't be surprised. And Dwight was saying he was down low, and it was like this pastoral beef, which unfortunately goes on in the apostolic religion. It's very common for pastors and churches to be beefing with each other. Then we got Dwight married Jordan and threatened across the pulpit, anyone that talks about her is gonna get hands put on him. He even threatened his own nieces. They're the ones that reached out to me and said, D, put him on blast. Because they're afraid of him. I'm not. I told him to his face, Dwight, if you try to come for me, my ancestors are going to kill you. Literally, they showed me your death. They showed me your car exploding. It's not a game. The shit y'all been doing shouldn't be happening. And no, I will not sweep it under the rug. And I will not be threatened. I will not be intimidated. The amazing thing, he's been getting exposed. Him and Jordan have allegedly been having threesomes with other friends of hers that are her age. They've had club night at Bishop Reed's house, where I used to go and counsel me and my ex-fiance before and after the rape. He's bought alcohol for all the underage girls because, again, he married her when she was 18. She was still not a legal adult. Now, technically in Iowa, she was. In Iowa, the statute of limitation is at 16 years old, you can get emancipated and you can legally get married. And at 18, you're considered an adult, but you can't buy alcohol until you're 21. That's why he waited like a week after her birthday to marry her. This shit is so disgusting. And everybody turned on me when I went to the police behind Bishop Reed's back. Everybody turned on me when I left the church. I literally had to escape. This is a cult. They pursue you when you stop coming to church. They start showing up at your job. They start blowing up your phone. They'll even show up at your home. Sister D, where you been? You know, we miss you. Bishop misses you. You know, he loves you like a daughter. What's going on? It's time for you to come home. It's time for you to come back to church. When they found out, I don't know how they found out, but they found out that I was planning to move from Iowa. The guy that I got with after my ex-fiance raped me is from Atlanta. And we met online. We actually met on MySpace. And we talked for like 6 months before we met in person. And he was completely different from my ex-fiance. He was actually very sweet. And he took me to Atlanta to meet his mom and his family. And while I was there, they started blowing up my phone. Like, I'm not even bullshitting, like 30 times a day. He said, what type of church obsessively pursues members when they leave? He was like, baby, you know that's a cult, right? And I would, no, it's not a cult, because I was brainwashed, MK Ultra. And then one day I had to accept it. Yeah, it is a cult. And I told him what happened to me. He got on that phone and cussed him out so quick. He said, if you call her phone again, he said, bitch, I dare y'all to pull up to Atlanta and see if I don't blow the shit out every one of y'all. He said, as a matter of fact, here's the address, pull up. Because he was a real thug. He didn't give no fucks. They stopped calling. They finally left my ass alone. This is how deep this sexual abuse shit goes. They will go to great lengths to hide and cover for each other, because the image is more important than the healing of the victims. I'm an actual real ass advocate for this shit because of what I've been through and what many others I've grown up with have been through. This shit's disgusting. And this is my content, so I don't have to say fair use.
Would mess with my wife. I wish some of y'all.
Now, what I'm going to do, let me check y'all's comments right quick. I'm glad she didn't either, because yeah, Robin and them was doing nasty ass shit, bro. They really were. And I went to the police in Hannibal about Robin, and I went to the police in Iowa behind Bishop Reed's back. He said, so it's crazy. Later on, I found Just D show when I was listening to D overnight at work looking for a life, speaking out about Diddy and that stuff. Then I was like, she's just a real one. I felt she was standing up for what's right. I just was drawn to her speaking out against all this abuse in kids. Yeah, it's disgusting, bro. Okay, so you did see Dwight. Okay, that's why I wanted to show this, to confirm that. So yeah, this is him on the pulpit bragging about marrying her and how I wish you would do something to my wife. And nobody ever said they were going to do anything to Jordan other than take her from you. That's what we said. That we were going to come and take her from you because you brainwashed this girl. You groomed her into believing that it was okay. Her biological grandfather told all of us on Clubhouse in detail about the way this man abused her and about the way that he manipulated her. He said, my granddaughter did not want to marry him because she knew it was wrong. And she came to me crying, and she went to her best friend crying 2 days before their wedding and said she couldn't do it. And he's like, I don't know what my son said to her, her biological father, James. He's like, I don't know what he said to her, but he got on the phone with her. She was crying hysterically, and all of a sudden she said she would do it. Now, what I was told by the relatives was that James told her, daughter, if you do this, you'll be the wife of a bishop. You'll be honored. Because, again, they idolize the pastor and the pastor wife. Literally, almost like they're God. Like kids would call Dwight Jesus. Literally. And it also had to do with money. Dwight invested in her father's failing music studio. I think he gave him... oh, what was the amount that his niece told me? I think it was like $50K he invested, or like $100K, I believe he invested into her father's failing music studio and into her uncle, Garrison, who I actually dated briefly when I was in church, his chicken restaurant. Literally pimped his daughter out to this man and bragged about it. See how he's on stage? I don't know if I can make this any bigger. See how Dwight is on the pulpit? This is the church I was a member of. Like how they have the videographer recording him, that was my position at that church. I was a videographer, a B-roll specialist, and an editor, full-on production specialist, and digital marketer. We started this TV broadcast network, not him. So it's the audacity for you to be in this pulpit on the broadcast network that we started bragging about this shit when it's wrong.
Y'all would mess with my wife, Jordan. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. Well, you will see me on the news.
Pause. Talking about what you gonna do when you see her. What we said is if we see Jordan, we're gonna convince her to leave your ass because you a nasty motherfucker. Ain't nobody threatening this girl. And then him up in the pulpit threatening, talking about you'll see me on the news. Ain't nobody scared of your old motherfucking ass. You can't do shit. Stupid motherfucker. I can't stand Dwight. I really can't.
Cause that's my wife. And she grown. She didn't need nobody to sign no paperwork for her.
Pause. The reason he said that she didn't need nobody to sign paperwork, again, because in Iowa, if you want to marry somebody and you are under the age of 18, your parents do have to sign off on it, even if you get emancipated, because you're still legally a minor. Again, he waited out the statutes of limitations to marry this girl and had already been openly dating her since she was 15 and he was 60. So he gave it 3 good years. This is their pastoral picture here. Dwight, and they call her First Lady, but yet it's his 4th wife and she was 18. And you can clearly see the baby bump. We all knew she was pregnant, even though she lied and said she wasn't. She was probably at least 3 to 4 months along here.
If this was out in the streets, y'all be saying she made a come up.
Notice what he said. If this was out in the streets, y'all be saying she made a come up because she got with a sugar daddy. What pastor preaches like this? Like literally, what in the fuck does this have to do with salvation? Neptune, what did your mom say when you asked her if she knew or did not know what your stepdad did? She said that she didn't know. But deep down inside, I still don't believe that. I don't. That's crazy that you saw that about him before I talked about it. Where the brat was talking about it. Exactly. Thank you. You know why he's not in prison? Because all the members are covering for him. This is a great example of MK Ultra in churches. The mind control shit. They have these people brainwashed to where they will be loyal to a fault. I remember when his dad, Jeremiah Reed, would tell us how many of y'all would die for me to show our loyalty. How many of y'all would take a bullet for me? The whole church would stand up. You think they're gonna snitch? You think they're gonna hold him accountable? No. That's why me, Maurice, and Levita were the only ones. And Levita and Maurice, they redacted. Because people started coming for them. They got scared. Well, D, I'm not going to do any more interviews about Dwight. Well, fuck y'all too then. Especially you, Maurice. Because me and you were family. And you were raped and molested by males in that church. But Maurice wants to do business with some of the members. And Levita got scared because her and her kids got threatened. That's the type of mafia shit they do in these fucking cult ass churches. They literally pursue you like they did me when I left. First they love bomb you, and then when you say you're not coming back, it's this typical narcissistic devalue discard shit. So yeah, the members will sit there and, as y'all can hear, amen and cheer him on because they feel like he can do no wrong, almost like he's God. It's disgusting. This is just a theory I thought of. Do you think possibly the reason why stuff like this is swept under the rug, especially in the Black community, is a vestige of slavery? Of course it doesn't make it right. Yes, I do. This is mental and spiritual enslavement. In fact, this is a great example of Ephesians 6 and 12, where it says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness in high places. This is another example of spiritual wickedness in high places, for sure. Yeah, it definitely doesn't matter per race. It's the mentality of it. Literally, the mentality of it. Yep. That's exactly what they want to do. That is too funny. Yeah. And this is why I do this. I need people to understand my background and why I go so hard about this shit. I was the only one with the courage to stand against this shit. Out of everybody else, like I said, everybody would talk about it on the phone. They'd talk about it behind closed doors. And I was like, okay, so let's go to the police. Oh, we can't do that. Why not? Because we'll get in trouble. They'll come for us. Okay, but what about the victims? When I left that church, them people slandered me so bad, they didn't know that I was raped because I didn't tell anybody. I told my cousin and I told my best friend, Elissa, who wasn't even in Des Moines. She was in Omaha. I only told the two of them. I was very traumatized. I didn't know what to do. I went to Bishop Reed, Jeremiah Reed, thinking he was going to protect me because he was like a father to me. But he said, daughter, we don't need any more scandals coming against the church. So don't go to the police. Let me counsel with you and him. I'll counsel with you guys 3 times a week. And if he gets out of line, he can come up missing. He said, we can get rid of him for you. Do you want us to take care of him for you? I lacked so much self-love that I told him no. I said, I don't want him to die. I still loved this man. I was in shock. I couldn't believe he did this to me. I was like, I don't want him to die. I want him to get help. I thought about him instead of my own healing. Again, the mental conditioning, his father taught that women were second tier to men. You know, you let your husband be the leader, which I do believe, you know, in that dynamic when it comes to marriage. I do believe your husband, as long as he is a leader, should lead the family. When it comes to that portion of marriage, I do believe that. But your husband should not ever rape you. Your husband should not ever abuse you. He should adore you, like my uncle did my aunt. He should protect you. They taught that it was okay to take it from your wife if she didn't want to have sex. They even taught to have sex on your period. They explicitly taught about buying dark colored towels and it was just, a lot of shit was real fucked up. But when you grow up in these communities, it seems normal. That's what a cult is. They normalize sexual, mental, and emotional and physical abuse, and they desensitize it. And they look for people. All of us that were members of these churches either came from broken homes or had abandonment wounds or had been some sort of abuse, whether physical or sexual. So they prey on those who are already broken because demons exploit your vulnerabilities. That's how come a demon can possess you when you are at your most vulnerable. Oppression and depression leads to possession. So the spiritual work I was doing when I was a member here, when I started really delving into satanic ritual abuse, my obsession with this came from this. Because his dad died in 2018, and I did go back for the funeral. That was when I came back, I found this calendar when I was researching SRA. This shit is so just ridiculous. It's so goddamn disgusting.
I'm telling you now, don't let the devil fool you. Because I ain't the one to play when I get on the other side here.
Reverend Nasty Noodle, come here, let me stress you out right fast. Because you're too old to be threatening people, and you're too old for that little girl. You are great times 8, granddaddy. Ain't no way your Bert Lugasa Jr., Benson Dubois granddaddy, crunchy black bell pepper nose, dingy, dusty dog ass is getting into heaven behaving like this. You older than the elevator, and you're gonna take an elevator to hell when you go.
I wish somebody...
And you know what's so funny is I reached out to that comedian and I told him I was a member here, and I shared that video and tagged him, and he commented, he said, "How in the world did y'all deal with that?" I said, "Mind control, MK Ultra." Literally in the church, MK Ultra. You know, "Our Father which art in heaven" shit. Yeah, so now everybody can clearly understand why this is so disgusting. When you come from the fuck shit and you're the only one who has the balls to stand up against it, yeah. When everybody's like, "Why don't your people fuck with you?" Oh, it's so much deeper than y'all know. I'm like the enemy of the state back home. I'm the Will Smith from that movie. I'm the defector. I'm the whistleblower. I'm the enemy. You know, that's how they treat me. I don't care. He said, "See, I just think me finding your show..." Oh, that was definitely divinely orchestrated, for sure. Okay, no problem, my love. Definitely catch the replay, and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. He said, I'm surprised your friend Maurice stopped fighting for the cause. Do you think he's back at the church? He's not back at the church, but what I did see on Instagram, he's been doing business with some of the members there. Because some of the members are elite in Des Moines. You know, they're politicians, they're governors and all that. So he wants to have the business connection, which is why he fell back. He's like, well, I'm not going to keep speaking about Dwight. I'm like, you're the one that brought it to me. Again, I had never heard of Kim. Let me see your transcripts. I had never heard of her until him. I was like, so you brought me to this woman's platform. Now everyone's talking about this on YouTube and you're acting scared. So now y'all are just going to throw me under the bus and leave me hanging. That's why my channel's called The Just D Show. It's Just D. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a minister. I don't claim any affiliation to them anymore. It's just me speaking out, and I'm gonna keep speaking out no matter what. The true love really loves the heat. Bring you back. I'm sorry, Andrew. I didn't understand your comment there, love. But yeah. This shit that Epstein's doing and all this, just disgusting. Now, for this video, I will turn on the copyright disclaimer. Because like I said, that was my content. I didn't have to do that. So that was the video I edited. But, yeah. Let's check out this video. Is there no audio? Now this says disturbing videos in Epstein Files release show scores of young girls performing catwalk auditions. Why do they need to do catwalk auditions? Like, what is the point in that? Other than him being a pervert. The clips featuring the young would-be models which were among the millions of files just released by the Department of Justice, DOJ, support rampant theories and speculation that the convicted sex offender lured victims under the guise that he could propel their careers. Oh, guess who else did that? The Diddler and Jay-Z. Remember how he threatened Rihanna at 15 that if she didn't sign the contract, the only way out was through the window or a contract out the front door? Yeah. Same thing with Diddy. So yeah, these are teenage girls that you are having dress up and do very inappropriate things. And why? Why? Because you're a fucking pervert. Look at the goddamn disgusting look on his face. He looks like the Joker. Like literally, he looks like the fucking Joker. Says his French model pal Jean-Luc Brunel was charged with securing girls and young women for the billionaire pedophile after being introduced to him by Epstein's former gal, Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, I want to show you guys. I want to put this back up there for those Christians that have so much to say about the LGBTQI community. This is also interesting too. I actually meant to show this yesterday. Okay, decorated former Palm Beach detective who led Epstein investigation dies at 50. Date on this is June 1st, 2018. Let me bring up the calendar again. In fact, let me open another tab. That way I can leave that one open and toggle with the articles. Because all of this shit with Diddy, Jay-Z, Epstein, again, Clive Davis, all these people, it's about these satanic rituals. It's not just because they're fucking disgusting pedophile perverts. These are satanic sacrifices. All these young women that this man has done this disgusting shit to sacrifices. Now, Joseph Recarey solved murders, obtained confessions, worked overtime, fell in love, and brought co-workers lunch. He was a former Palm Beach detective, and it said he tackled the island's largest and most important investigations, and he died on May 25th, 2018, after a brief illness. They always make the description of the medical extremely ambiguous, just like they did with Jamie Foxx when he had that mysterious illness. And in my opinion, they brought back a clone of Jamie, because I'm sorry, the Jamie we have now ain't the Jamie we had in the 90s and early 2000s. It's just not. Now, he died on May 25th. Let's take a look at the calendar. Okay, that's right in between the Satanic holiday, the Beltane Walpurgis Day or May Day, which is a Druid fire festival, coven initiations. And it's right before the summer solstice feast day, where they do orgies, oral, anal, vaginal, animal, and or human sacrifice. Notice how it also says free, let me make this bigger, Freemason holiday. Now, the Freemasons have levels to this shit, right? Not all Freemasons are evil. The ones at the top of the pyramid, they are that's the spiritual wickedness in high places. That's the rulers of darkness that Ephesians 6 and 12 talks about. Human and animal sacrifices, an orgy that involves animals, means they're fucking animals, which is disgusting. To each their own, but bestiality has never been and never will be a kink of mine. Nor pedophilia, ever. So we have people dying during and in between satanic holidays that were investigating this shit. And they never clarified what the brief illness was. They just said he was 50. Says he was born in Queens before coming to Florida with his family when he was 13. He lived in Royal Palm Beach and worked for the Palm Beach Police Department for more than 20 years, beginning in 91. Decorated police officer. Okay, just people giving him accolades. It says Chief Anne Marie Taylor, who worked with Recarey in the organized crime unit, said he was a tenacious investigator hungry for the truth, much like myself, who had a gift for making others laugh. He was extremely giving, both with friends and strangers. Okay, can we get past all the accolades? I want to get to his connection with Epstein. Oh, is that it? Well, that article didn't really. But basically, the whole thing was, when I was seeing this on Instagram, a lot of people were speculating that obviously he probably didn't actually die of a mystery illness, that he probably was killed, allegedly, which makes sense. Because anytime somebody within that industry or within that environment speaks out and they're well known and it goes viral, they come up missing. Now let me see, because one of these articles did give more detail about the alleged brief illness. Which is also interesting that it says In June of last year, decorated former Palm Beach detective Joseph Recarey died after a brief illness at the age of 50, and that's basically all we know. But do a search for him, and you'll barely see anything in the mainstream media or even alternative media about his death. That is true. I couldn't find any details. So this could have definitely been another abduction. And again, all they said was he died of a brief illness. That gives no context to how he died or what the illness was or any of that. Also, what's interesting, no other information about the cause of death was released. So I feel like it's safe to speculate that maybe, just maybe, he could have been abducted and held in ceremonial preparation to be a sacrificial victim, because he was also connected to people outside of Epstein. And then here's the other one. It's like really blurry. I'll try to show you guys. But basically, they're saying that dramatic moment, prison guards find Epstein's body is revealed for first time as staff is seen sprinting from cell. But again, it's very blurry. So it's really kind of hard to make it out. But what I also saw was articles where the one guard said he watched Epstein's body get switched out. Here's another one. New Epstein victim, aged just 9 years old, revealed, and top government official named in bombshell unredacted files. This disgusting piece of shit had the audacity to invoke her Fifth Amendment right and say that she would only speak about what happened if she was promised immunity from Trump. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein had a 9-year-old victim and was associated with a current senior foreign government official. Unredacted files related to the pedophile financier have been reviewed by lawmakers, with some accusing the Department of Justice of a cover-up. I was trying to see if the file, if it showed anything. Can we make this, does this get bigger or no? Okay. It's kind of pointless to post this shit with all the fucking, it's annoying how they did that, all the redacted shit. But yeah, it says Thomas Massey posted an image of this file claiming 4 of the 18 redacted names were men born before 1970. 6 men, including 1 top foreign politician, have their identities protected in the files. I don't know why I feel like it might be either Netanyahu or Putin in that. U.S. Congressman Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna allege the pair also questioned why the high-profile men had their faces and images obscured for no apparent reason. Protection. Massey claimed the uncensored documents included 1 individual who is pretty high up in a foreign government. Again, it's probably either Putin or Netanyahu. That's just an assumption I'm making. He told reporters, you read through these files and you read about 15-year-old girls, 14-year-old girls, and 10-year-old girls. I saw a mention of a 9-year-old girl today. I mean, this is just preposterous and scandalous. One document posted on the X by Massey contains 18 redactions, 4 of them being men born before 1970. Another post showed another redacted file with Massey saying, "This is a well-known retired CEO. Doge just unredacted this." So, yeah. It says, there are certainly lots of names of other people who were enablers and cooperators with Jeffrey Epstein that were just blanked out for no apparent reason. Protection. This is why the Doge has been accused of certain people within there covering it up, just like how we saw, what's his name, Pam Bondi defending Trump, even though he is in the files as well and has been accused of raping young girls and threatening to kill them in the very same files. I honestly believe the only reason why Trump signed that Transparency Act is because he knew that the jig was up and he was going to be exposed anyway. So why not play hero and savior by signing that Epstein Transparency Act into, the justice system, so that you can be the one to say, well, I exposed him. Well, you also exposed yourself. You're a fucking idiot. Epstein's former accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, outright refused to answer any questions over her links with the pedophile during a Crunch Congress hearing on Monday. Dressed in a beige prison outfit, the shamed British socialite 64 was seen invoking her right to silence in footage of the deposition, as she said she had been urged not to speak by her lawyers. Which, we already know you're guilty, that's why you're in prison. Maxwell was ordered to give evidence behind closed doors and under oath from the Texas prison, where she is serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking as part of the committee's Epstein inquiry. So, yeah, and this appears to be a photo of him. Jesus Christ. And I just realized there's a naked fucking girl on the side. This actually is making me angry, so I'm gonna have to push past that photo. That's triggering as hell. It's so wrong on so many levels. And the parents that pimped out their daughters the same way James pimped out Jordan to Dwight, all of you fucks are gonna pay. Straight up. You guys are all gonna fucking pay. Every last one of you. So, yeah. Now, on to showing you guys, because there's so many links. Here's something else I want to show you guys. Trump's Epstein confession revealed in newly surfaced FBI files. Everyone knows. This is dated February 9th, a week after Candlemas. An explosive new report has yet again undercut President Trump's repeated denials that he knew of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's crimes against teen girls. Hell, originally he said he didn't know him at all, even though all the pictures surfaced that he clearly had a close relationship with him. According to... Hold on. I need to... What the fuck? Let me put this on vibrate, because my phone all of a sudden going off. It says, according to an October 2019 FBI interview with former Palm Beach Police Chief Mike Reeder, Trump called the officer in July 2006 with insider details about Epstein's activities. So wait a minute, pause. So you was snitching? In 2006? Really? Sounds like maybe Epstein pissed him off. He says, thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this. But all the recent interviews and videos, President grabbing by the pussy, you said everyone needs to quit talking about it. I don't know anything about that. Oh, I'm not sure. But literally 20 years ago, you said, thank goodness you're stopping him. Everybody has known he's been doing this. Again, let me throw him under the bus to take the heat off of me. That's what I feel in him making this statement. Trump allegedly pointed the finger at Ghislaine Maxwell as Epstein's operative, describing her as evil and urging authorities to focus on her. Pause. Let me show y'all something. Let me close some of these tabs. Ghislaine Maxwell asked for clemency in exchange for testimony that will prove Trump innocent. It says Miss Maxwell is prepared to speak fully and honestly, bullshit, if granted clemency by President Trump. Only she can provide the complete account. Some may not like what they hear, but the truth matters. For example, both President Trump and President Clinton are innocent of any wrongdoing. Bullshit. Miss Maxwell alone can explain why, and the public is entitled to that explanation. So give me clemency, and I'll tell the whole world that you are innocent, even though allegedly we all know he's not. Trump says, I'm allowed to give her a pardon, but nobody's approached me with it. And he said he is allowed, but it's something he has not thought about. Now, let's see. Because I was looking for... That's not what I was looking for. Because I think it was on Instagram, but I just realized I forgot to log in to Instagram. Yep, he previously bashed her as evil. Trump told then Palm Beach Police Chief Mike Reeder, people in New York knew Epstein was disgusting and that Ghislaine was evil. And here he is with Melania and Epstein and Ghislaine. So if she's so evil, why the fuck were you kicking it with him? Notice how it says Donald Trump and his girlfriend, former model Melania Knauss, financier and future convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell posed together at the Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida. Pause. There are now rumors saying that Mar-a-Lago has tunnels and that girls were being allegedly trafficked through Mar-a-Lago. Also, there are articles coming out saying that that Epstein actually gave Melania to Trump at Epstein Island when she was 15, allegedly. So yeah, Trump seemed like the type of motherfucker that if he feels like shit's about to go down, he's definitely going to throw his friends under the bus to save his own ass. But the problem is, too many people are speaking out about him allegedly sexually abusing girls right along with Epstein at the island and also allegedly at Mar-a-Lago. At least half a dozen top Trump administration officials appear in the Jeffrey Epstein Files. Lutnick is definitely one of them. He just really needs to shut the fuck up. Now, this says the degree to which each individual was connected to Epstein varies significantly, from a single email to years of communications. President Donald Trump, who had a lengthy relationship with Epstein, is mentioned thousands of times in the files. I can confirm that from the files I've been researching. Trump has never been accused by authorities of any wrongdoing connected to Epstein, and he has said he parted ways with him in the mid-2000s. That's bullshit, because he was a creep. That's bullshit. During a testy oversight hearing on Wednesday, Attorney General Pam Bondi on whether any current administration officials have been questioned by the Department of Justice. See, here's the thing. It makes sense that birds of a feather flock together. Y'all put out the files. The president is named in the files and he's still president. All these government officials and people from the Trump administration are still serving in office. Are y'all serious? Y'all just gonna play in our face like that? Well, we're gonna show you who's in the files, but we're not gonna hold them accountable. Well, guess who's going to? The Most High God is gonna start with a lot of y'all's deaths. By the way, I had another premonition of Trump's death. His coffin with a gigantic 82 on it. I do believe that by 2028, he's going to die of natural causes. What I saw was a heart attack. And he was out of there. Other people named in the Epstein files. Elon Musk. Former Prince Andrew as well. Yeah, Britain's Prince Andrew was named in the files. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of New York. Or sorry, the Duchess of York, not New York. Elon Musk. Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group. Look what it says here, Donald Trump. So, orange face Oompa Loompa, president grabbing by the pussy. I'm gonna need you to stop lying, sir. Your name has come up time and time and time and time again. And I have the actual files where your name is there. It's long been known that Epstein was friends with Trump before the two had a falling out. The new trove of documents contain thousands of references to Trump, much of which sheds little additional light on the men's relationship. They include emails in which Epstein and others shared news articles about Trump, commented on his policies or his politics, or gossiped about him and his family. The Doge also disclosed a spreadsheet created last August that summarized calls made to law enforcement tip lines from people claiming to have some knowledge of wrongdoing by Trump. The document included a range of uncorroborated stories involving many different celebrities in somewhat fantastical scenarios, occasionally with notations indicating what follow-up, if any. This is done by agents. Why has there been no follow-up? Notice whose name came up again, Bill Clinton. And the list goes on. Oh, and there's Ehud Barak. The list goes on and on. Then there's Letnick. So, yeah. When I said that 2025 was going to be the year of uncovering, I was right. You guys cannot cover. You keep trying to cover for one another, and God keeps pulling that cover right the fuck off. Now, I'm going to show you guys this actual file. If it'll open. Okay, I really don't. don't want to use Google Docs because y'all doing too much. All right. This is one of the Epstein files that mentions Beyonce, one of many. Notice the subject line says the sheiks or sheiks, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, concubine money. It just says from, it doesn't say who it went to. But this is from the Epstein Files. It says, hi all, my boss has already made the official announcement that when high maintenance is looked up in Webster's dictionary, there's a picture of me. My boss thinks I'm so bossy that it's actually him working for me, not the other way around. Spending time with these 17-year-olds, pause. Spending time with these 17-year-olds who are potential, and they block that out. Students have been so inspiring. I love my job, and I now know what we are working for. The NYU president has on numerous occasions called the funding of whatever, the sheiks, however you say that, concubine money. Why are we talking about concubine money and talking about 17-year-old minors? The kids who came for blank were stalking them on Facebook to see what they had thought of blank. From New York, brought their own camera crew and medical staff when they came to Abu Dhabi. When New Yorkers go on field trips, they don't mess around. I introduced myself to the president of, they won't show that, as the COO's little office troll. He loved it and gave me a big hug. I thought I would leave him surprised, but he left me surprised. A colleague told me I look like Barbie. It was the biggest compliment I've ever received in a long time. Since we're freaking blank and funded with the concubine money, we got tickets for the whole office to Beyonce. Why are we talking about concubine money providing tickets for them to go see Beyonce? She's performing the first night of the Formula One race, a 4-day event. Beyonce was great. It was a 4-hour ordeal to get out to Yas Island, where the Formula One is held. Hope you're all well. So, for those that were like, Beyonce wasn't in the files, well, they seem to kind of worship Beyonce and Jay-Z in these files. And then, hold on. Can I open this in a new tab? Oh, it won't let me. Okay, fine. Here's another one. And this one was sent to Ghislaine. My bro and I are in. I am sending Lily to the Beyonce concert. So she's tied up till late. Spice. Sounds good. Wait, so she's tied up till late. Spice sounds good. I can make the rest if you would like. This sounds like some spirit cooking, trafficking ass pedo language. Do you and your bro plus Lily want to join me for dinner Monday? Andrew is in town. I don't want to do something at my house. Was thinking the Spice Bar. Your thoughts? So again, why are y'all discussing Beyonce so much in these files? It's just making me wonder, why are they so fixated on Beyonce and Jay-Z if Beyonce and Jay-Z were never involved with Epstein? They're doing a whole lot of talking about these motherfuckers for them to not ever have, been involved, what they say. Now this is an email from Jeffrey Epstein to Barry Josephson. Notice the subject is funding. Jeffrey, didn't want to bug you, but I'm trying to close a deal for them with Beyonce or Fergie, which will require capital and stock. Pause. This person's trying to close a deal with Beyonce which will require capital in stock. That just confirmed what I showed y'all yesterday. That just confirmed this. The Patel versus Dorsey case. Because remember, Jay-Z's being sued for allegedly allowing Cash App, which he is part owner in, to be used as a hub for illegal activities, including money laundering, sex trafficking, and terrorism financing. So, again, kind of seems like maybe, just maybe, this could have been a part of that. Barry Josephson is reaching out. Actually, Jeffrey's reaching out to Barry in this email. And you know how email threads, no interest, but he writes to him, Jeffrey, didn't want to bug you, but I'm trying to close a deal for them with Beyonce or Fergie, which will require capital and stock. I sent along the materials. Please let me know if you need any further documents. They block out all this other shit. Any interest from your people? So it looks like Jeffrey responded by saying no interest possibly. Regardless, like I said, Beyonce is in these fucking files just as much as Jay-Z is, if not more. One has to wonder why. And then this one. An email from Paul Krasner to Jeffrey Epstein. What would you do in order to consolidate the movement? I think that whatever is anybody's talent is the path they should take in building up rallies and marches in the process. Thus, it's morphing we shall overcome into we shall overlap. The event that took place the day after the inauguration was a good example. Mostly women and many with their kids. My daughter took her 5-year-old daughter. Wait, what? My daughter took her 5-year-old daughter to the demonstration in Napa, the epitome of what my wife Nancy says, brilliant, organized, loving resistance music. That's one aspect, from Beyonce to Bruce Springsteen to Lady Gaga, rock bands that serve as the soundtracks, as I believe it'll be at the Grammy Awards. You know, the Grammys that are in February during Candlemas, the Sabbatic Goat Festival. Interesting, right? Icons, investigative journalists revealing the truth, Republicans with conscious, compassionate crowds at airports, and layers who help the Trump victims at airports. Notice how he said Trump victims. For those who want to say Trump was not named in the files for any wrongdoing. And why the fuck is Beyonce and Trump being discussed in the same goddamn email? Probably because Trump is really good friends with Jay-Z. Here's another one where she's mentioned. Happy to pass this along to her. She may want to do it. I need a tax lawyer for me personally. Any ideas? Larry Summers' wife gave me a list of letters for Black women to invite her to Poetry Project. As you know my views, I forwarded them to a few others. I forgot that this one, I assume that this is her real name. Woody Allen did it. Woody Allen has been named plenty of times in the files too. But the station pulled it. Of course, they know nothing of your connection. Thoughts? Notice, let me zoom in more. Do y'all see how this says Beyonce initiation? See, I'm a coder, so I read, this is called a bracket. I was like, why the fuck do they have initiation as part of the metadata code here for the PDF doc file? Why is Beyonce mentioned so goddamn much in these fucking files? Why is she being discussed so fucking much? Here's another one. This is from Jeffrey to Mark Tramo. Great. And you, my friend, reading Wittgenstein, writing books, sent you my music brain final exam, waiting for you to complete the return. Waiting for you to complete and return. Producer, I wrote recorded songs with her last year, now producing Beyonce in New York. Universal shopping the song to Beastie Boys, as in probably Universal Music Group. The same ones that Angie Stone called out. So, yeah, a lot of deals were being made involving Beyonce in these Epstein files. A lot of deals. I told you guys. I fucking told y'all. I said, y'all do know Beyonce and Jay-Z are being investigated. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I felt it. I saw it in the 5D. I didn't know how deep their involvement with Epstein was until I started actually looking and reading through all the actual files. Oh, and here's the one about Beyonce and Clive Davis. Let me show you this one. This is to Jeffrey Epstein from Adam Belai. What else do you need? Larry Jackson, head of A&R Interscope, discovered by Clive Davis. Let me repeat that one more again. Larry Jackson, head of A&R Interscope, discovered by Clive Davis. He discovered Lana Del Rey, works with Kanye West, Lady Gaga, and Beyonce. One more again. Wants to do something big with me, connecting big data to music industry. Example, national language processing of artists, followers to define unique signature, cluster analysis of artists based on followers to inform concert pairings, where to play based on geolocation. We met yesterday. He's a geek at heart. Very cool contract. Now let me pop back into the studio so I can see y'all's comments, because I'm pretty sure there's some there. Okay, let me go up. Kim Trails, good to see you. Yeah, it definitely should be illegal. I think it's disgusting. I really do. I don't care if some people are into that. I just think animals and children, leave them the fuck alone. If you notice, all the elites that are said to have a death hoax in the news are the same ones suspected of being clones and the same ones being accused of pedophilia and sex trafficking. Pam Bondi accused the ones leading the trial had Trump deranged syndrome, which is why Trump invented that fake BS to have his enemies committed. Yeah, I do. I agree with you. I agree 1000%. I hope this article is seen by Ghislaine Maxwell so she is persuaded to tell the truth about Trump. Hope she feels stupid for invoking the fifth for Trump. Yeah, because he don't give no fucks about her at all. They are saying Trump is mentioned more times in the Epstein Files, more than Harry Potter is mentioned in 7 books of Harry Potter or more than God is mentioned in the Bible. Wow. Sounds like that last email was discussing how to make big crowds that bring their kids to be taken. Exactly. Yeah, because I'm showing you guys the calendar from the PDF because I can actually zoom in. But let me drop the link. Okay, so there is the link for the calendar, and it's also in the chat. The connections between Jay-Z, Beyonce, Diddy, Weinstein, Epstein, Trump, Clive Davis, especially Clive Davis, because I've been speaking on him on Facebook for a long time too. All of you that think you're getting away, you're not. What is interesting was the fake fallout between Elon and Donald Trump. Again, a lot of distractions to get people to not focus on these files, on the truth about what's really coming out. Let me show you this one too. From Jeffrey to Barry Josephson again. Oh wait, this is the same one. Wait, let me go back, because that's the same one. Says to Jeffrey, forward it to Leslie, book, music, pubs, and tours is the subject. Here we go. Okay. Book tour in US and Europe expected after release. Why Music in 2014. Recorded song at Universal Music Studios. Co-wrote and performed vocal guitars with hit boy Chauncey Hollis. Producer, writer for Beyonce, Kanye West, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne. Top secret at the moment. Can YouTube search hit boy interviews and recent top 10 hit Niggas in Paris. So yeah, a lot of discussion about these artists. What did this have to do with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein was not a music producer. He wasn't in any way, shape, or form associated with the music industry. Why are these emails going back and forth about all these different, specifically black artists? It's just given some sort of weird ass fucking ritual. And then this one. Wait, no. I'm trying to zoom in. This was sent to Epstein. Dan Snyder buys 224-foot super yacht. It goes on to say, the Lady Anne 224-foot super yacht purchased for the bargain price of $70 million. Wow, $70 million's a bargain price? That's wild. I couldn't imagine that, but I'm gonna start imagining that for my wealth. Give or take a few million. Like, they're talking about this shit like it's pennies. The sale is big news in the luxury yacht market. The Lady Anne is one of the 100 largest yachts in the world, according to Power and Motor Yacht magazine, and one of the most beautiful. Notice how they go on to say, Snyder in January 2011. Does this get any bigger, or is that the biggest it goes? Okay. It says Snyder in 2011. Think Bond movie or a sun-drenched love boat for Jay-Z and Beyonce. Again, my question is, why are they mentioned so much? What's the real tea here? between Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Epstein. You know what my theory is? These rituals. Especially given the fact that, you know, Beyonce's been accused by people that actually work with her for being a dark witch, not just by Jaguar, but from people who actually have worked with her, saying how she sacrificed animals and threatened them, and, you know, just all this crazy shit. Speaking of Jaguar, I do want to show you guys. Let me close some of these tabs. Okay, open a new tab. So you guys remember yesterday when I showed you guys the video of the voicemail she left Goomba. Remember, I was looking for that video of her speaking about Diddy having that $500 million sex tape that was being shopped, as she said, on the dark web. So what I did is I screen recorded that portion of this interview that she did with Orlando Brown on Real Life Street Stars. This was either a year or a year and a half ago. And she talks about monitoring the dark net and seeing Diddy tapes being sold and people being sold and traded, which again, that coincides with these rituals and these abductions. And also, once again, Jaguar, if you knew all this shit, why didn't you do shit to stop it? I think it's because the rumors could possibly be true about you allegedly being directly involved with Diddy and Jay-Z and them when it came to them performing sacrifices, especially after hearing and replaying for you guys yesterday those voicemails that she left Goomba, where she threatened Goomba's new girlfriend and her children with being raped and bullets put in their head. Again, fair use. And this is, so basically what I did is I screen recorded this from their channel and then I edited it into a video. So it does have background music.
Can you break that down a little bit more? Why you think he said?
Well, considering that the is selling his own God evidence that would put him in jail against him on the dark net to the highest bidder. Why would he sell evidence of his debauchery and savagery? Why would he sell on the dark net his tapes of just terrible? Wanna know why? Because he doesn't intend to stand trial.
Is he protecting people, or are people protecting him?
Oh no, he's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million.
Why the fuck are you monitoring the dark net? This is why I'm starting to believe the rumors that you're an agent, allegedly. You and Orlando speak in a lot of CIA agent code. And Jaguar, do you know how I know that? My grandfather was a CIA agent. A lot of my obsessive research naturally comes from him, inherited. He taught me to question everything and research everything and don't take what people say at face value until you do the research yourself. My grandfather told me things I know he wasn't supposed to have told me. What I genuinely believe is that this woman's a double agent. I believe the rumors about you allegedly being involved in these satanic rituals with all of these disgusting elites, specifically Jay-Z and Diddy and Clive Davis. I believe you did go to Africa to meet with Epstein and Oprah and Diddy and Jay-Z. I do believe that. But what normal civilian monitors the dark net? We don't even know how to access that shit, let alone monitor it. And if you're monitoring the dark net and you're seeing explicit videos being sold and people being traded, why didn't you do shit to stop it? Is it me in my funky Dineva voice, or is it true that you were directly involved in these satanic rituals with these nasty motherfuckers? Is it true? Because between the Goomba shit and this, it's given. It's given. You said, well, she mentioned in the Parham case, well, she was mentioned in the Parham case, even though that was dropped, doesn't prove she wasn't involved. Oh, 1000% I believe she, I'm not gonna lie, this is my opinion. I really do believe Jaguar did that shit. Allegedly. I really do. Parham's problem was not, the only reason that case got dismissed is because she was not able to present new counsel to represent her by the deadline. That has nothing to do with Jaguar being innocent. And pulling some incarceration records out of your ass also doesn't prove innocence. One thing I know as a survivor myself is that dates can easily be mixed up when fragments of your memory is taken while you're being sexually abused and afterwards. And she knows that because Jaguar deals with complex PTSD too. You know way too much and way too many details to not have been involved. It's either that or you're an informant like you accused Charleston White of being, allegedly.
It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown.
How could you know that unless you watched it? $500 million sex tape. You said it had multiple stars, Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown, and Rihanna. I'm not gonna lie to you, I could definitely see that. Especially with the way Nicki's cooning for Trump. Y'all remember when I said I believe the real reason Jaguar and Nicki both coon for Trump is because they all have dirt on each other? Allegedly. If Nicki Minaj is in a sex tape, allegedly with minors, it would make sense that she, you know, tries to get close to Massa Trump for a part and cover me and don't expose me. It's just interesting. Again, how could she possibly know this unless she watched it? There's no way you could know that if you didn't watch the nasty ass film.
Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas.
She says Justin Bieber and Drake. And how it was an interesting night at Calabasas. Again, either you know these details because you were present or you know these details because you watched the video. Either way, both are disgusting, in my opinion.
And he just sold that footage.
How come you think it doesn't get leaked to the public?
The dark net?
Yeah, like...
Because of the dark coin.
Now, one thing about it is the dark coin is a real thing. But again, how do you know all this if you're not a CIA operative or directly involved, allegedly? For those who may not know, the dark coin. While Bitcoin might be the first and most recognizable cryptocurrency, thousands of alternatives do exist. And as new investors seek to buy cryptocurrencies, stake their claim in a bold and exciting new financial world, many have turned their attention to the so-called dark coins, which are cryptocurrencies with the focus on providing secure private transactions. Subsequently, alternative coins or altcoins have emerged in recent years that offer strong focus on anonymity, ensuring that despite tough regulatory talk, the power for blockchain technology to bypass middlemen such as nation states and other regulators might be well considered unabated. Then it says, why privacy coins? It says, crypto transactions, many believers in blockchain technology have begun to turn to privacy coins as a mean to escape observation. So the dark coin makes sense. That would be the only way they would be able to make transactions like this, is using the dark coin for the anonymity so that it can't be traced back to them.
Most people don't even know that the dark coin exists, but that's how they're trading for all of the flesh they sell.
Pause. She said that's how they're trading for all of the flesh they sell. The flesh, abduction, ceremonial preparation and holding of sacrificial victim for Candlemas. Also notice during the satanic revels, which is a sexual ritual, the age is 7 to 17. The flesh are the human sacrifices.
Which is why I became so outraged last year when the twins turned 16 and he had them dressed like prostitutes, and then he auctioned them off as NFTs because the NFT that he sold them to was attached to that dark fucking coin. It was like a promissory note to sell his daughters to the highest bidder.
You see movies like
Pause, which is exactly what Dwight did with Jordan. He basically purchased her. She was sold to him by her disgusting father.
Hostel. Do places like that really exist?
Absolutely. It was like a promissory note to sell his daughters to the highest bidder.
You see movies like Hostel. Do places like that really exist?
Absolutely.
Did you see how quick she responded when she said absolutely? Y'all remember I shared with y'all the conversation that we had privately about her offering me that safe house, which later was confirmed to be Yellow Beezy's house, who's locked up right now. I genuinely believe that safe house that she was trying to send me to was some shit like this. Now, hostels are for hedonists, but hostels are also places where women are abducted and held and sold into sex trafficking. And a lot of sacrificial shit goes on. This is from the actual movie Hostel, for those who've never seen the movie. which I saw it years ago when it first came out. Notice on the cover the Baphomet horns. So yeah, this shit is really diabolical. And the question still remains for everybody, how the fuck do you know all this? How, Sway? Literally, how do you know all this?
Absolutely.
Do the things that go on in places like that exist?
Absolutely.
Shit. It's funny because
there are 3 women I know right now in my life. They've been in my life for 6 years. I've been caring for them for 3 years. I got them off of Epstein Island.
Pause. Where the fuck they at? How did you get these women off of Epstein Island? First, it's an island, which means you'd have to have some sort of plane or private jet, which to my knowledge, you've never had that. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. You couldn't do that either. Because Epstein Island is in a very remote location and heavily guarded with security on the water before you get to the island. I want to know, how did you rescue women from Epstein Island? What mode of transportation did you use? And why haven't these people and you come forward? You have your Jaguar Wright show, you know, the show that I supported you in starting. The show you had Tammy Wallace on, who, according to her testimony, you threatened her as well because she didn't want to keep working with you. So how, Sway? How the fuck did you rescue women from Epstein Island? I'm not gonna lie to you, this sounds very fabricated. It's giving delusions of grandeur and that you maybe possibly could have quite possibly allegedly made this shit up. One thing I do on my channel is bring receipts for everything I talk about and show y'all. She has literally presented no receipts of these alleged victims that she's known for all these years. Because even if they're afraid to come forward, they could give you a documented testimony account of what happened to them. Because remember, you were supposed to be the voice for victims, right? Where the fuck these victims at that you keep claiming you rescued from Epstein Island, and how did you rescue them? Were you a overnight billionaire that suddenly had a private jet where you could, you know, land the plane on the island and go in and I mean, like, come on, man. The only way you could have rescued women from Epstein Island is if you were there working as a sex worker, which would make you an accomplice and a willing participant. So I'm gonna need you to explain that, because you've been saying that shit for the last couple of years and it sounds like complete bullshit.
I cannot say where they are in the world. What I can say is when they got into the boat, they were roughed.
How did you get a boat? You know what? Because I realized there's just it's so much bullshit being said by her about this. Okay. Can we make this bigger? Can this get bigger? Okay. So this is Epstein's Island in the Virgin Islands. Private island allowed for extreme isolation, requiring access by boat or helicopter. When did you own a boat? I mean, that's a lot of water to navigate through. Interesting. It says main complex and then the temple, probably for them to do satanic prayers in, I could imagine. So yeah, we've got compass, jetty, service buildings, sundial. Swimming pool. I just, I'm trying to wonder how, Sway. So let me get this straight. You purchased a ticket to fly to the Virgin Islands. And then somehow, once you arrived at the Virgin Islands via helicopter, I mean, how did you get over to the Virgin Islands? Did you catch a flight? Did you catch a boat? How did you get past the security? This looks like an extremely secured place, I don't think Epstein would have such a remote island and make it so easy for just anyone to access the island. So again, using critical thinking skills. Sounds like some bullshit to me. Pam, thank you for tuning in. Sounds like some straight up bullshit to me. See, the way her voice changed, and I know she was under the influence during this interview. And this is my opinion, again, all my commentary is alleged. When I feel like Jaguar's lying, she transitions to this like very timid little girl voice and brings about this emotion. Keep in mind, she is an actress, not a proclaimed actress, but she's definitely acting here, empathetic, like she did with me on panel several times. How, Sway? How did you afford to fly to the Virgin Islands and then purchase a boat or rent a boat? How did you get past Epstein security unseen? And how did you get the women on the boat without anybody seeing you? Come on, bruh. They took women's IDs and cell phones. But we're supposed to believe that his entire security team just let you onto the island and just let you leave with victims? Bullshit. Bullshit, bro. Bullshit. I'm not believing that shit for a second. And anybody else believe? See, I believed it at first before I started researching more about this. Like, even when she would come on panel with me and she'd be like, well, I went to Epstein Island and rescued women. In the back of my mind, I'm like, but how? It's an island. You can't just pull up like you pull up to somebody's house to Epstein Island. Especially as large as it is. Then there's these different, again, main complex, the temple, a swimming pool. Like, do you think this man was that wealthy and he didn't have no security? And then let's just look at the waves here. I'm pretty sure that the undercurrent would have probably taken you and those women out. I'm just saying, like, bruh, the way you be lying is allegedly is crazy. Yeah, and here. Now this says Epstein Islands, where he committed many of his crimes against minors. He owned the island from 1998 until his death in 2019, and it was nicknamed Pedophile Island by locals. Damn. Epstein's guests, who were flown in on private jets and helicopters, included celebrities, scientists, and members of royal families. The island was the subject of a criminal complaint from the Attorney General on the U.S. Virgin Islands, who described it as the perfect hideaway and haven for trafficking young women and underage girls for sexual servitude, child abuse, and sexual assault. Pause. People were flown in on private jets and helicopters. So again, Jaguar, how sway the fuck did you get over there? Are we to believe that Epstein flew you in to his island? Is that the story, that Epstein flew you in as a guest, and then as a guest you went in and rescued the women? Because you know that was your story about the Baphomet tattoo. You told everybody that the only reason why you got that tattoo was so you could gain entrance into certain spaces that you otherwise would not have had access to. And you claim that you used the Baphomet tattoo to gain access to these places, in that you went in and rescued the women. Where are the women that you rescued from the Diddler? And where are the women that you said you rescued from Epstein Island? Where the fuck are they at? Because even if they don't want to share their location, how you got emotional and said, well, you know, their location can't be disclosed. Well, but what they could do is they could do a virtual interview with the background so that nobody knows where they're at. Just saying, critical thinking skills says you're full of shit.
It was a really interesting night in Calabasas, and he just sold that footage.
How come you think it doesn't get leaked to the public?
The dark net,
Yeah, like,
because of the dark coin. Most people don't even know that the dark coin exists. But that's how they're trading for all of the flesh they sell. Which is why I became so outraged last year when the twins turned 16 and he got them dressed like prostitutes, and then he auctioned them off as NFTs, because the NFT that he sold them to was attached to that dark fucking coin. It was like a promissory note to sell his daughters to the highest bidder.
you see movies like Hostel. Do places like that really exist?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do the things that go on in places like that exist?
Absolutely.
Shit. It's funny because
There are 3 women I know right now in my life. They've been in my life for 6 years. I've been caring for them for 3 years.
I'm about to look up the date of this video. Give me a second. Because she said they've been in her life for 6 years. I'm about to do some date comparison, date analysis. Okay, I found it. All right, so this is, god damn it. I really fucking hate when it does that. Go back to the goddamn video. That has to be a StreamYard thing. Like, every time I'm sharing screen, it does this stupid fucking bullshit. Oh my god. I fucking hate this crap with StreamYard. This is super annoying. Like, what the fuck? Hurry up, man. Like, I hate when it does that shit. Like, it'll start just swiping through the fucking videos instead of playing the goddamn video. Hurry the fuck up. Like, this is so annoying. This only happens on StreamYard. Like, if I'm not on StreamYard, that does not happen. Y'all need to fix that shit. Like, it's annoying as hell. Because the whole point is I want to get the date that this was published. Okay, May 13th, 2024, which means she's claiming that these women have been in her life since 2018. Now let me go back. And Epstein allegedly died in 2019. Another thing is, why are you always around people that are or have been accused of trafficking underage girls? Like Diddy, like Jay-Z, allegedly, and all these other people. Now, this says between 2001 and 2019, the Epstein enterprise transported underage girls and young women to the Virgin Islands, who were then taken via helicopter or private vessel to Little St. James, where they were deceptively subjected to sexual servitude, forced to engage in sexual acts, and coerced into commercial sexual activity and forced labor. The island was also the site of an alleged escape attempt by a 15-year-old girl who tried to swim away. According to the lawsuit, she was recaptured by a search party organized by Epstein, who confiscated her passport. So again, Jaguar, if this girl tried to swim away, first and foremost, where the fuck were you? And if she tried to swim away and she was recaptured by his own search party, you really think we're gonna believe that you somehow evaded his search party and his security team and they just let you onto the island? That would mean that Epstein would have had to flown you to the island on a private jet or helicopter, and he would have had to allow you access to, where's that damn picture, to his either temple or, you know, main area. Like, why the fuck do you lie so much, bruh? I'm gonna say allegedly for the sake of YouTube, but for real, why do you lie so much? Why do you lie so much? For clout. Did you notice her turn her head to the side real quick for a few seconds? That was a tell of her pausing to get into character behavior. Don't lie. And also, she's under the influence, because at the beginning of this interview, she's drinking out of a bottle. And this is my opinion. Again, this is all alleged, and this is my opinion. My opinion is she probably was rolling. Because like you're having Tourette's, but mostly what that is, that's spiritual. Those are those demons on her, fucking with her. Again, it's kind of common sense that Epstein would have a search party and a whole security team. You think he doesn't know that there's people that would want to come to the island to expose him? And let's be real, Jaguar, you're a black female too. On top of that, you think we're going to believe that you somehow got past Epstein's security team and search party team? And you left with 3 females when this girl couldn't even swim away? And they took her passport? So that's the other thing. You would have had to have a passport to travel there. Just saying. I know you had a passport before because, you know, you traveled to the UK and performed and did all that, but it just seems like Epstein kind of had his shit ironclad. And the story that you're telling sounds very imaginary. It sounds fabricated. I'm not saying it is, I'm saying that's how it sounds. It says Epstein Island was also the subject of speculation, with theorists describing the temple, a blue and white striped structure, which are Israel's colors on their flag, as the entrance to an underground lair, an altar to an Egyptian deity, a burial ground, or a site for ritual sexual abuse. I wonder what Egyptian deity it was. Probably Molech. So, yeah. It's, you know, kind of hard to believe, and I don't believe that you rescued women from Epstein Island. They would have probably shot your ass dead. First and foremost, seeing you come and trying to get on the island, let alone letting you leave with victims who can snitch and expose him. This is why I don't believe this shit, and this is why I believe you made all this up, because again, you've had plenty of time to present your alleged victims, and right now would have been the perfect time to bring them forward to help put away other people who have gotten away with this sexual abuse. But instead, from what I'm being told, you clout chase on YouTube. Even when we were still aligned, you never brought up victims. Like, you never brought up caring so much for victims until it was a topic that was trending about you.
Years. I got them off of Epstein Island.
How, Sway? How exactly did you get these girls off of Epstein Island is what I think we all want to know. How did you do it? How'd you get past their search party? How'd you get past their security? How did you obtain and acquire a boat for them to get on? How did you even get to the island in the first place? Like, who brought you? Who flew you over there? Because no shade, no tea, you're not in shape, and you haven't been. You'd have to be an Olympic swimmer to be able to swim across those extremely deep currents and waves. Like, let's just be real. Because when I first heard the story on the phone, when we talked personally, she told me that she swam to Epstein Island and rescued those girls. But on the blue couch, you're talking about a boat. Okay.
I cannot say where they are in the world. What I can say is when they got into the boat.
Exactly, Cody. If she was flown to Epstein Island, she would appear in the flight logs. Because it's not possible for you to travel to the Virgin Islands by boat from Philly or New York, or I mean, like, come on. If you got to the island, you would have had to been in the logs, period.
They were roughed.
I'm not gonna lie. This whole thing is giving theatrical. This is giving just even the energy. It really feels like she's making this up. Like she's literally making this up as she goes. Like she's reciting some sort of scene of a movie. When they got on the boat, they were roughed. Well, if they were being sexually abused, they were probably more than roughed. But I don't believe these people ever existed. Not in the way that she's saying. I 1000% believe there were probably millions of victims that went to Epstein Island. I just don't believe her recounting. This feels like she's like you're sitting here like a psychopath making this shit up. Like in your mind, this is a script that you're describing to people, not a real life experience, allegedly.
Wow.
Want to know how they ended up on Epstein Island?
Please.
They auditioned to be models for music videos.
Okay, let me show y'all something. Cause sorry, not sorry. Everything out your mouth sound like a goddamn fabricated lie. Or regurgitated information, which I'm about to show y'all some proof of that. Also, not to mention, that was in here. About the girls going under the guise of becoming models. This was published in 2024. Ironically, just a few months after she did her appearance here. Now, everybody been saying for the longest time that Jag gets all her information from Lipstick Alley and regurgitates it. Oh, your face, baby. Shit. They should have did that close up. And this was published in January, months before she did that interview. This is sad, bro. These are actual children. This is so sad. These are like, when I look at these kids, I think of my nieces and nephews when they were that young. Oh, this is so disturbing. I don't even want to watch that because I can't watch that. So yeah, it sounds, I'm gonna be honest, her little account here, this fake ass emotion, is giving, I'm regurgitating information that I found online and acting like it's my real life experience. Good night, Cody. And actually, after I play this, I'm gonna go to bed because my sleep aid's kicking in too, and it's after.
Oh, cast it.
When they got to Miami.
Wow.
Want to know how they ended up on Epstein Island?
Please.
They auditioned to be models for music.
You know what's really sad about this is everyone that really believes this shit, just like I did, like we all did, because again, she's a very convincing storyteller. Even the interviewer, which I think is probably, what's his name, Jeff, the emotion where he's like, damn, you know, everyone's really believing her. And the reality is, it feels and sounds like you're making this shit up as you go, allegedly.
Music videos.
Oh, cast it.
When they got to Miami.
Now, let me look that up. Let's verify that. She says Epstein Island victims were, God, it's kind of hard to type from the side, were auditioning for music videos. Why would models be auditioning for music videos on Epstein Island? Again, he's not a musician or a producer or any of that. Like I literally typed in Epstein Island victims were auditioning for music videos. Let's confirm and see if there's any information out there about that. Because the only auditions that I saw were the catwalk shit. But let's take a look. Now this says modeling. This does not say music video. Damn, how many of y'all remember floppy disk? This is like very nostalgic looking at that. It says what the newly released Epstein Files reveal about audition practices with minors. The files contain detailed accounts of how young women were recruited, screened, and moved through purported audition or modeling setups, not music videos. They also show inconsistent redaction decisions in several first-hand victim statements that identify people, locations, and patterns of coercion. This says documents and produced communications describe recruitment tactics that use promises of modeling or acting work to lure minors to private residences and properties tied to Jeffrey Epstein and associates. Some records include emails and calendar entries arranging auditions or meetings. Victims say those meetings were used to isolate underage girls and introduce them to adults who then sexually abused them. Nothing in here about music videos. So again, you know, before you go around regurgitating information or allegedly fabricating information, Jaguar, what you need to realize is that you are not helping any victims. You're not helping actual victims by doing this bullshit. In fact, what you're doing is honestly invalidating their experience. Definitely, yes, floppy disks were the shit back in the day. Unless you got water on them.
Miami. They to be models for me.
Oh my God, you know what else I just realized? The fake emotion and shakiness in her voice is exactly how she sounded on those voicemails to Goomba when she was switching personalities, or the demons were activating, let me say that. It's the same shaky voice, the same going into character and pretending to be this extremely emotional, sympathetic. No. This is my opinion. This is all an act. Allegedly.
Want to know how they ended up on Epstein Island?
Please.
They auditioned to be models for music videos.
She says they auditioned to be models for music videos. Everything else says these young girls were auditioning to be models directly for Epstein. Then the catwalk shit. So, you know, I can't stand a messy, sloppy liar that underestimates people like me that's going to actually go and research the shit you're saying.
Oh, cast it.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID.
Pause. When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID, but all the other documents say that all the girls that were taken to Epstein Island, their IDs and passports were confiscated. Hell, in this one, it even said that. So again, a lot of lies appear to allegedly be coming out of your mouth about your experience on Epstein Island that, let's just be honest, I don't believe you ever had this experience. I believe all of this shit was made up for clout, for clicks and views, and to convince people to believe you and make you seem like you are this huge advocate so that no one will focus on the allegations from people in the industry that are directly connected to you who have said you were allegedly involved, like firsthand, with Diddy and Jay-Z, and that you even allegedly were responsible not only for transporting and trafficking women, but for allegedly physically harming women. So it would make sense for you to come on YouTube and do this campaign about how you're such a, you know, I'm an advocate for survivors and I want justice and all that, but yet you've presented zero witnesses from Epstein Island since you've been saying this shit for the past couple of years.
And they collected their passports, and then they drugged them, and then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container.
So when they got to Miami, they had to hand over their IDs and passports. They drugged them, and then they ended up in a shipping container. Now, do you guys remember in the Parham versus Combs docket when I showed you guys this on live about the accusations against Jaguar for allegedly aiding Diddy in the transportation of the women being trafficked to Diddy's locations to be sexually abused? Do y'all remember in that docket where I believe he was a police officer that was on Diddy's payroll, when he spoke about women ending up in shipping containers and how they were saying he threatened them that if they told anybody what happened, they would end up in a shipping container and never be heard from again. The same thing that Jaguar just said about these girls is what she said to me when she offered me the safe house that I again found out later was Yellow Beezy's house. She said the same thing to me, because that's when she was on the maniacal, they are gonna come for you because you're connected to me and you're supporting me and you're a mod now, and you need to be more careful because Danny Robertson's gonna find out where you're at and come kill you, and she's gonna try to he or she's gonna try to sacrifice you, and you know you could end up waking up in a shipping container, and you don't want that to happen because then no one will ever hear from you again. And I'm thinking, like, what in the fuck is she talking about? First of all, I'm 5'9". The only way somebody's putting me in a shipping container is if they're able to knock me the fuck out and drug me. And I do know how to defend myself, and will, and have, and did. Why are y'all constantly talking about women waking up in shipping containers? It sounds like maybe you have allegedly participated in the drugging of women, and also participated and or allegedly observed, how do you put a live person inside of a shipping container without them fighting back? You'd have to drug them. In the beginning of her story, she says she's talking about the island, not Miami. See how the story changed just that quick? The very beginning, you're talking about a boat and how the women got onto the boat. Then now you're talking about in Miami. I mean, how the fuck did y'all get from a boat in the Virgin Islands to Miami? And then in Miami, why would they have been in an environment, if you allegedly rescued them from Epstein, and it's everywhere where it says Epstein would take the IDs and passports of the girls so that they didn't have a way to leave. So how did they get their IDs back? And how did you guys, since you claim you rescued them on your boat, how did you guys get from the Virgin Islands to Miami? This is giving that what Ashley Parham said about you in that docket might be true, because it sounds like you are indeed a transporter and trafficker. Allegedly. How the fuck did you know where Epstein Island was located? You can't just Google the address and find it online. How did you know where he lived, Jaguar? Did he give you, clearance to come on property like the Trump administration did when you went to Mar-a-Lago? How, Sway? How the fuck did you get over there? How did you get inside to rescue the women? And how did y'all leave without getting shot or transported back? And above all, where are your victims? You said you had victims ready to testify against Jay-Z and Beyoncé. You said that on Piers Morgan in 2024 and on my platform and on your own. You haven't presented nan victim. No evidence, just you talking.
Getting fucked by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding, and then they auditioned to be models for music videos.
Oh, casting.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID, and they collected their passports, and then they drugged them, and then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting fucked by a bunch of weird strangers.
They were in a storage container getting fucked by a bunch of weird strangers. Okay. How big is this storage container for people to be fucking in it? How did they get to Miami? And how did you witness all of this shit? And again, if you're an advocate, why the fuck didn't you do anything to stop it? This is why people believe the story of Ashley Parham, that you were indeed a transporter and trafficker of the women, allegedly. The shit you say out of your own mouth honestly just incriminated you. And if I were a judge, I'd have your ass locked up expeditiously. Because this almost sounds like a confession.
Strangers on camera who were bidding for all.
And she's saying they're getting fucked by strangers on camera who are bidding and auctioning them. Again, how do you know this? And where are the people that you are alleging told you this?
All of the terrible things that were happening to them live online. This music video after strangers on collected their passports, Miami. They had to show and turn over their ID, and they collected their passports, and then they drugged them. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting fucked by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online.
Wow.
Okay. She said, next thing you know, they're in a shipping container getting fucked by a bunch of strangers while being recorded, and they're bidding on the terrible things that they're doing to them while I was online. So now the story has shifted to all of a sudden the girls are in Miami. So if you rescued them from the Epstein Island, how did they end up still getting trafficked and sexually abused in Miami? That's question one. Why didn't you protect them if you went and got them to protect them? Question two. Did you know about the videos because you saw these videos on the dark web? And question four, which is the most important, did you just make all of this shit up? The fifth question, have you ever stopped to think, Jaguar, how you doing this shit will make survivors not want to come forward? Your voice is shaking like you're emotional, but yet you have on sunglasses and I don't see no tears running down your cheek. This is giving theatrical. That's what it's giving. And it's giving theatrics to distract people from the fact that you have been named right along with Diddy and Jay-Z and all these people you keep calling out as having had alleged first one-on-one first-hand experience with these people while they were doing this shit. And if these women were being trafficked in Miami, what the fuck were you doing on the web? Sounds like you were back on the dark net monitoring things, but not being an advocate, not trying to help rehabilitate, not trying to help heal. Because how can you do that when you're not healed? It's not possible.
After they made it through that, that's when they were sent to Rick Ross's music videos, shoots. That's when, for all of the terrible things. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting fucked by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online.
Wow.
After they made it through that, that's when they were sent to Rick Ross's music videos, shoots, as groupies and extras to make sure that they could walk around in society without looking like victims. And then after that, that's when they were shipped off to Epstein Island to be broken in.
See, this story has now changed 4 times over in a matter of 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You initially said you went to Epstein Island to rescue them. Rescue implies they're not going to be having to enter back into that lifestyle. Then you said when they got to Miami, how the fuck did they get to Miami? Then from Miami, you're saying then they were sent to participate in a Rick Ross video. And then from there, they were sent back to Epstein Island. So it sounds like your search and rescue didn't work. Because what you're telling everybody is that they were trafficked in multiple locations. And again, if you knew that, why didn't you do anything to stop it? Because if you went and got them from Epstein Island, then they would have told you all the horrific things that they went through. And I would think someone who has empathy and who calls himself an advocate would have done everything in your power to try to stop and prevent further trafficking, unless it's true that you were a part of it, allegedly. I'm just saying. It sounds incredibly fake.
And to be ready for Dubai and Moscow. Walk around in society without looking like victims. And then after that, that's when they were shipped off to Epstein Island to be broken in and to be readied for Dubai and Moscow. When they got into the boat, and I looked at them, they didn't have to tell me shit. And neither one of them, none of them, they didn't speak for weeks.
What irritates my soul about this, those voicemails to Goomba was not too long before this. You literally threatened for his girlfriend to be raped and a bullet to be put in her head. And then you kept calling her children unfortunate children and saying that they were going to be raped and that bullets were going to be put in their head. And now you want to sit on the blue couch with fake emotion and no tears and quite honestly sounding like you're out of your mind on something, allegedly. Then you want to come on here and, oh my God, I feel so bad for them, and I'm just going to express this fake emotion because I know people will follow me. I know people will subscribe to my channel. They want to hear more. I know people will believe me even if I'm telling a goddamn lie, allegedly. People don't just switch like this unless they are indeed dealing with some sort of spiritual issue. Because there's so many contradictions and so many lies in this short clip. It's baffling.
But when you spend time with strangers and they finally feel safe enough to go to sleep and then they start talking in their sleep and you hear the shit that they yell.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because as you sit here and we talk about hostile and, or, you know.
These 3 girls that I'm telling you about were in videos that are being played online today. And they appeared in those videos after they had already been sodomized, systematically beaten, starved.
Again, how did you know all that? I thank God every day for showing me who this woman really was. Especially after she offered for me to stay at that safe house here in Houston. I guarantee you, if I would have went in that bitch, I probably would have seen some hostile related activity. And more than likely, yeah, I really now believe 1000% that Jaguar was sent to try to recruit me to be sexually abused and to be sex trafficked. Because for this woman to know all these details, there's no way you could know that unless you were on the inside. And a lot of people, because of this fake, emotional, shaky voice, oh my God, she must be telling the truth. Do your research.
But they were smiling in those videos, so.
Yeah, it's crazy because, you know, you sit here and, you know, we got your story before where you actually said you seen what a saw does to human flesh, like having a saw. I mean, we got to
pause. How have you seen what a saw does to human flesh? Well, let's take a look at the calendar. January 7th, St. Wineball Day, blood sacrifice, animal and or human sacrifice and dismemberment. It's almost like you confessing or dry snitching on yourself. And again, I really believe this is why you kept jumping off my panel every single time I would share screen and show this calendar, because I really believe that you found yourself in this calendar and maybe it scared and freaked you out, allegedly.
Terrence Gangster in the building too as well, and he literally said he's seen the same thing when he seen a saw, what it does to human flesh. And I'm like, I don't know what it does to a person's mind or a psyche when they see that in person.
It changes you.
Yeah, it definitely changed you. And it brought about those demons. And again, one has to ask, why would you ever be in an environment where you're witnessing saws going into people's flesh? Again, the movie Hostel. I bet you I'm going to research that movie and see if any part, I'm going to watch that movie again. I want to see if any part of that movie is what she's describing as her experience. It's like, seriously, what situation or scenario were you in where you needed to witness a saw being taken to human flesh? Unless you were allegedly an assassin.
It changes you. There is a place inside of me where I have the ability to either see a human body as a human being or just pieces.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy. When she said there's a part inside of me, I felt all the darkness within her. That's the cremation of care, the clearing of the conscious so that you can do these horrible acts to other human beings. She says there's a part of me that I can see a human being as a body or just pieces. So when she was describing in detail to Goomba how they were going to rape Nikki and her kids and put bullets in their head, and how, I remember she made sure to highlight, and the boy too, they're going to rape him right in front of you and make you watch. Then they're going to blow your brains out and they're going to stage you and say that you were a veteran and you just finally lost it. Even repeating that makes me want to vomit. So yeah, when you allow those demons to activate, that's how you're able to see humans as just pieces of flesh. Because you're not operating from a high frequency for sure. You're honestly not even operating from a place of humanity. It's insane.
Now, Jack, you said Justin Bieber, and I have to ask you because there's a picture.
So that's about all I'm gonna show on that. One, I'm tired, I need to go to bed. Two, like I said, I pretty much hit the nail on the head. All of this shit is about these rituals. All of it. It's about these fucking rituals. That's all it's about. And the people who are willingly participating in these rituals are the same people that I genuinely believe were sent to my channel to try to shut me down from exposing this calendar. Because I was told by a few people in the industry, like, how did you find that? Because, you know, it's people that's trying to figure out how you got that information. Research. And to be honest, when the information first came across when I was researching SRA and SSRA, I was like, man, I don't know if this is real. So I started researching the Satanic Ritual Calendar and found so many copies of it. Guess where else I found a copy of it allegedly being stored is the Vatican. So, like I said, now it makes sense why she constantly jumped off panel the minute I brought this calendar up, because if you have allegedly participated in these types of rituals, you were probably terrified that you were about to get exposed. So family, I want y'all to wake up and realize Jaguar has every reason to lie about, allegedly, to lie about her involvement with these elite predators, because if she's exposed as having been involved, that's the end of her world as she knows it. But I think it's real crazy, the things that have been mentioned and how very similar they are to other, not just accusations, but convictions, you know, against certain elite predators. So with that being said, thank you everybody that tuned in. I am very tired because my sleep aid is definitely kicking in. I plan on hopefully coming back this evening with the Pizzagate documentary. And what I'm going to do is toggle and continue to show y'all the files from Epstein, the Epstein library on the Doge website. Because again, I see a whole bunch of posts on Instagram every day, but I don't see people posting their sources or posting, you know, where they verify the information, which is why I do so much research. Because before I present anything, I want to verify that what I'm showing you is true and accurate. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to the new DzPeepz. Shout out to those that recently subscribed. Shout out to all of you that hung out throughout the entire live. Thank you for your support. And thank you for those that are new subscribers. Thank you and welcome to D's World. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell, and that way you get notified, hopefully, when I go live or upload. Like I said, YouTube has this shadow banning thing, which is weird, because they've done that even with some of the psychics that I follow and that I'm subscribed to. Like my homegirl Mercy, shout out to Mercy Love. They hardly ever show me her notifications, and I've got the notifications for her channel set to all, and I still don't get notified. So I would just say, just, you know, check in, pop in on my channel every now and again if it's been, you know, a day or two and you haven't gotten a notification, because more than likely they're trying to shadow ban my channel, but it's not gonna work. I'm gonna keep exposing the truth. All right, family, y'all have a beautiful day, and I will be back soon. Love y'all.
Yeah.